What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second edition of DC Infinite Action Hour.
Zap pow. Slash.
All right, everybody. Hey, everybody. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to look at parts 4 and 5, the last two parts of the big Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that just aired a few days ago over on the CW. I am joined, as always, although, oh man, I got you guys in the wrong position on screen. I don't like it. I'm going to fix it in a minute. It's different than usual.
Something felt wrong to me.
That's what happened, man. That's what happened when all the Earths combine into one.
I felt like I was on the wrong Earth for a second there.
Yeah.
What's on?
So anyway, Marx Pyle is here, my co-host from a bunch of stuff. But Genretainment is the main thing. Hey, Marx.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Ooh, you can't answer me, but okay.
In the chat, they'll tell us in the chat.
How okay, good.
Yes,
Yes.
It's very nice of you to ask. There, I fixed you guys. Now everything's right. With the
okay.
Now we're. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Anyway, and also we have, of course, from Sincere Sarcasm, Francis Fernandez.
Yeah, Earths are everywhere. The universe is imploding.
Wow, I wish those were the lines on the crossover.
Wait, Oliver didn't say that? I must have been watching a different.
No, you were watching a different version.
Apparently.
All right, hey everybody, thank you for joining us. We're gonna. Last month we talked about the first three parts. You can check that out on this YouTube channel, Super Geeked Up, if you want to watch that. But we're gonna talk about parts 4 and 5, the concluding two parts of the show. We're gonna talk about pretty much all the stuff about it, and we want to hear your thoughts. I see listeners mate Carrie and Jalou already in the chat. Three of our awesome Super Geeked Up supporters as well, who were there Wednesday for our season finale. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you tuning in and spending your Friday night with us. I know you could be probably doing other stuff, but you're with us, so that's great. All right, so let's get into. Wait, hang a minute. We always start, of course, with a super tweet question, which Francis came up with. So I'll have Francis ask it.
All right. Well, now that we have pretty much every Arrowverse Earth converged into one Earth Prime, we got some team ups coming up. We even had a little sneak peek on maybe the Wonder Twins. So what team
Wonder Twin powers activate? Nobody's doing it. I'm doing it the wrong way anyway. Come on, Mark.
I don't know which way I'm at.
There you go. Good.
Okay.
So what kind of team ups would you like to see now that we pretty much have everyone under one roof?
Batwoman, Supergirl, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, I mean they heavily, obviously.
They're world's finest.
That. Yeah, world's finest, absolutely, man. But I like them. I also like how much Supergirl, she was so happy to see Kate on the same Earth when she showed up. Like, look, it's Kate. So that's gonna be great. And I also really want to see Flash and Supergirl some more, because I think the few times that they crossed over was great. I think they're so good. The musical was probably still the best thing they've ever done.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
But outside of that, even the first time it was super fun. They've always had fun times with Flash and Supergirl. They just work so well together.
I agree.
Yeah.
What about you guys? And in the chat, please let us know what team ups you would love to see now that we're kind of mostly on Earth Prime now, almost all the heroes.
Well, now that we have Green Lanterns, I'd like to see some Green Lanterns, make it to the other universe. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we've never seen a Green Lantern on.
I want Diggle get his reign.
Oh, that's right. Everybody keeps saying that, right? He's going to be.
He's supposed to be a Green Lantern, I guess.
He's my favorite one. What is it? John what?
John Stewart.
John Stewart. Thank you.
Yeah.
You think that's definitely going to happen? They're going to have him become a Green Lantern?
I don't know.
He's already whatever his name is. What is his name again?
John Stewart.
Spartan.
Spartan. There you go. He's already Spartan.
Well, here's the thing, though. Since Arrow is about to be done.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be cool to give David. Damn it! I'm freaking blanking on everybody's name now. The actor. I'm so sorry.
Is it Ramsey or
David Ramsey? Good job,
okay.
Marks. He could play a totally different role now, right? He could be a Green Lantern now, and John Stewart.
That'd be cool. Even if he's from another Earth and he pops in.
It could be a different version of him. You're right.
Yeah.
That would make total sense.
You don't think he and Argus are gonna consult with be the consultants for Green Arrow and the?
No, I do think that's what's gonna happen.
Canaries. Yeah.
I do absolutely think that, but I think it'd also be fun if you got to be Green Lantern at some point.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Well, I mean, there's plenty of crossovers left. I mean, they keep adding new shows.
You're right.
Will keep
They're
on
not
coming.
going anywhere.
Well, I would like to see eventually, with Earth crossing overs of the new multiverse, I'd like to see Doom Patrol appear. I don't even care what show, just one of them.
That would be amazing. Well, look, if they were able to pull off what no one thought they'd ever be able to pull off, which is a DCEU Arrowverse crossover in these last episode. So anything is possible now. I think that's what they're hinting at.
Wait,
anything.
what did you say? A DC ECU? What did you say?
DCEU, the DC Extended Universe is what they call movies.
Oh, they don't call it. Oh, I've heard it listed as a cinematic universe, but they call it the Extended. That's their official name.
Yeah, they call it the Extended Universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it might be different than Marvel. Okay.
Sounds like a smell, like DCEU.
It's a you.
Ew. Yeah, well, I think it would be cool to see Doom Patrol across. It's one of my favorite shows right now because I just finished season 1.
Yeah.
But we talked about maybe if the movie would cross over, one of the movies would cross over. We thought it would be Flash because that actor is such a big geek himself, or Shazam. So because both of those actors are big geeks, big fans themselves, and I would like to see Shazam appear at some point, have his own Earth or whatever. I don't know. That's just really neat. I like Shazam.
That'd be awesome, man. Zachary Levi is great as Shazam. We're going to talk more about the stuff they just mentioned in a little bit, folks. Jalou says, though, in the chat, DCU, so he likes your thing there, Marx. He made like a smelly, I don't know what that is. I don't know all these emoticons, but it's like, yeah, a smelly one. He says, honestly, don't watch CW, and they're ending their last WB show, Supernatural. The channel has targeted a far younger audience. Well, first off, thank you for joining us since you don't even really watch these shows. I appreciate it, Jalou, probably because you saw Super Geeked Up. That's great. But, you can still listen to us if you like. Or you can also, at least right now, you can tell what superhero team you'd like to see, even if just anywhere, any kind of superheroes.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I didn't think about that. So the Supernatural was the last show that originated on the WB. That's interesting. I did not think about that before.
Yeah, so it's been around a long time. Yeah. So
15 seasons or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I love Supernatural. I would love to see a crossover Supernatural and Arrow or something. It'd been hilarious. But they even have their own alternate Earths too on Supernatural. They haven't done a whole lot with it, but they went to alternate Earth before. So wow. they could be part of the multiverse. Who knows? But it'd be hilarious if they go to another Earth and then it's a different Lucifer, and it's a Lucifer from the Lucifer show. It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I thought it was kind of cruel that they showed the show that they canceled immediately, which was Swamp Thing.
Right?
They showed Swamp Thing. I'm like, you canceled that show.
It's funny because that was kind of sad because it was canceled, and he also looked pretty sad in the shot they showed.
That's why he was sad. Oh, I'm canceled.
It's like, this is all I get. 2 seconds on the crossover.
This is the last time you'll get to see me. Oh, that's too bad.
Did they do a full season, though, at least of it?
Yeah, 18 episodes.
Did anybody watch it?
I haven't seen it all. I've seen the first couple episodes. It's pretty good. It's more horror feel than a superhero feel. It's well done from what I've seen so far. Have you seen it, Francis?
No, because that's on that DC channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, I've been binging a lot of stuff on that channel right now. Before I go over to CBS All Access to watch Picard.
Oh, that's me too, man. In like a week or so, right? Or less than a week.
Yeah, less than a week.
I'm going to actually do CBS All Access just because of Picard.
Ah, good. That's what they were hoping, I'm sure.
I'm going to wait to hear from both of you first before I take the plunge.
We make it so.
Yeah.
Engage.
Yeah.
In the chat, Carrie says, I'd like to see Black Lightning and the Legends. They could go to the 70s and we could see the BL vintage suit.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
I like that a lot.
Good call, Carrie.
I have a feeling they're going to have Black Lightning and Flash. They seem to pair them off a bit.
They definitely had those guys paired up, yeah.
I just,
Well, let me lead into what you're saying because listeners may bring this up. Maybe what you're going to say. He says, why did Black Lightning show up for the last 15 to 20 minutes of the crossover? So what did you guys feel? I mean, I know we're kind of jumping to the end of it, but that's fine. We'll jump all over here today, I'm sure. in the first 3 parts, well, whatever part he showed up in, like 2 or 3 of the first one, I thought Black Lightning was a good fit, and he had some nice moments with Flash, right? I kind of agree with listeners made here. I felt he was out of place in this one, the way they did it. He just showed up out of nowhere. He says like, "Oh, I saved your guy's ass," which no, you didn't. It's Killer Frost, and he just and Rick Rory. So, but also then I don't know. Like, it was weird for him to be there for the whole Oliver thing, and the whole line they gave him is like, "I didn't know Oliver. Yeah, he seemed like a good guy though."
No, he said dude.
Dude, he seemed like a good dude. Is that it?
Yeah. I was
great. That's the big thing you got to contribute to this conversation.
Well, he's new. He's the new guy.
Like not
right?
say anything maybe in this important moment.
I know everyone's tearing up, and he's like,
I was tearing up, dude. Oh my god, I cried. I'm gonna say I cried so much during that episode. I don't know. What did you guys think? Like, I felt it was weird the way they did it this time, rather than the first parts of the crossover with Black Lightning. What did you guys feel?
I mean, I think structure-wise they had to, because they had to establish that it was in the new Earth Prime, that Black Lightning was there, and also for him to get his own seat and the table and stuff too.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, which we just met you, but this is crazy. But
you know what? Barry would do something like that, because Barry's the one who set it up, right? He would probably be like, "Yeah, this is a cool guy. I just met him. Let's put him in here."
Yeah, I like lightning.
Exactly. I use lightning all the time.
Yeah, it was a little forced. I wish they had Black Light. I wish he'd been one of the Paragons, because then it would have made more sense, and it could have got a better tie. And for example, the one Paragon they had that seemed kind of wasted was Ryan Choi, right? Like he never really became a hero, and not like a superhero, and he didn't really accomplish very much. So,
but he figured it out at the end, didn't he? Wasn't he the one that was like?
Well, he was. Yeah. Well, him and
Ray,
Nash, Wells, and Ray, right? We're kind of all working together.
But see, Ray could have figured that shrinking thing too. So
I'm with you there. See, I was thinking this. Like, I like. What's his name? Ryan was his name, right?
Ryan Chow, I think. Yeah. Choi or something like that.
I liked him. He was cool. But the problem, I was thinking afterwards, I was like, but why was he in the crossover when you really think about it, right?
He's humanity.
Unless you want to establish him as the new, like Adam afterwards, which they might do, right?
Right.
But I don't know. Like, did we need somebody to represent humanity, really?
Aren't most of them human? Except for Martian Manhunter and Supergirl?
I mean, I liked he was good. He was good, right? But I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure if that was needed, really, though, to the story when you think about it in like retrospect.
No, and Black Lightning would have been, when he came to the Paragons, it would have made so much more sense, and he wouldn't felt so smooshed in there at the end too. I think. Plus, he could fight more. That end battle. It was so bizarre. Like,
oh God,
he's like, I'm punching him, and I'm like, what? What? Which then they turn around and he's like huddling with the baby with one of them. Like, you were just like Chuck Norris in them all, 5 minutes ago, and now you can't fight one for your baby.
Right, because he can't. Pretty much established he doesn't have powers or anything. He doesn't know how to fight, as far as we know, right? I'm like, okay, so these, what do they even call those things? Demons? What were they called? Ghouls? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think they got a name.
Shadow Rays, Shadow something.
Shadow
Demons or something like that, yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, okay, so these Shadow Demons are the most pathetic things ever then. If Ryan could just start whacking them, flailing at them, and he just takes them out.
You could just gather like all the humans and like punch them all. We don't need the superheroes. Just punch them. It's just like throw rocks at them and it'll kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, look. I think this is I think this is just a soft introduction.
For him as to be like the new Adam.
To be the new guy. I mean, he's there for a reason. He's there, like
so?
Well, I mean, if you really,
he did grow a beard. I liked him with a beard. That was nice.
It's like 3 days have passed. No, I think it's a good way to kind of get us used to a character that is probably just going to be introduced later on as the new member of the Legends of Tomorrow. It's like, okay, all right, we'll just toss him in there, let people get used to this guy. and worked from there. I liked it. I thought it was fine, and yes, the flailing was dumb, but I mean, come on.
So ridiculous.
Come on. It's
yeah. I mean, I will say though, I like the character though, right? So I'm cool seeing more of him. He's cool.
I am too, but I think they would have been better. It might have been a logistical reason too with him, but it would have been better with Black Lightning, I think. And Black Lightning's not an idiot either. He's got some science skills, I guess, or something. I mean,
hey, you're not an idiot. Come on,
he's a principal.
He's a principal.
At a school.
But he's got a high tech suit. Right? Yeah. He knows a few things. I think not just Gamby knows it all. Maybe I don't know.
He can represent humanity.
Yeah, he can represent. Well, he's the most human of them all, really. When you think about it, his show is the most human of them all too. It's that they deal with a lot more down to earth stuff. So he should have been humanity. Just saying.
Yeah, because they didn't even do a flashback. You know how they did kind of a flashback for all of the other characters, like when Sarah was dead as White Canary, and
well, that's when Barry was trying to find them in the Speed Force, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan wasn't there; he was with Supergirl on the planet. That's why.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yeah, the Black Lightning totally could have gone with the Supergirl.
With Lex Luthor, who had powers, so he was more powerful than Ryan.
Oh my God, he does right.
Yeah. Give myself an upgrade.
Well, why wouldn't you, right?
Oh yeah, that was so Lex. So
he's the savior. Remember, he's the savior of humanity. Like he is.
Yeah.
As was he president too?
In the comics, yes. In the Smallville universe, he was in terms of the crossover.
And now they got him set up to where he's going to become that,
yeah.
Right? Because he got the Peace Prize.
It's a good reboot for him because there's been all this history of him being arrested, all that stuff. Where now it's like rebooted for the new Superman series, so he's going to be a lot bigger villain because everybody thinks he's a hero and all that stuff. So it's a good setup for that.
It is. And guys, say the more I see him, I mean, I liked him from the beginning, but John Cryer is really good, man, as Lex. He's like awesome.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite Lexes, except for Clancy Brown in the animated series. That's my favorite Lex.
Is it? Okay. Michael Rosenbaum is still mine in Smallville, but Cryer is rivaling him. He's getting up there. I got lots of stuff in the chat here. Let me get to some of this stuff, folks. First off, Jalou had said, so the Injustice game was pretty popular. Since there's the multiverse in DC, how would the DC EU interact with themselves in Injustice?
Well, they do in the comic book and in the game. Well, in the comic book,
what is I played part of the Injustice games, but I don't really know much of the lore. Are those like different versions of the characters, or?
It's when Superman goes bad because the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane,
and then he becomes like evil kind of Superman in a way.
Not evil. He becomes like authoritarian dictator.
Oh, that's the authoritarian version of them. Okay.
And so the Batman's then the other superheroes from another Earth are called upon to help save the Injustice universe because Superman is going to.
Yeah.
Cartoon.
I've seen an animated. The animated series did a thing of that, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God! He just traveled to a different Earth.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is that you, Ezra Miller? Yeah.
Mark, is that right? Did the animated series do a thing on that?
It did something like that. They went to alternate Earth, and he had like robot Superman everywhere.
Yeah. He's super soldiers.
Yeah. So. That would be cool to see. Well, that's the thing. I would love to see, like in the Superman series, where he meets various multiverse Superman characters. That'd be kind of cool, right? Have Brandon Ruth, whatever, however you pronounce the last name, reappear again as Earth 96 Superman, and some other Superman.
Tom Welling come back, even though he's not.
Yeah, Tom Welling can reappear, and could even have Lex. I can see Lex Luthor creating his own council of Luthors, like how how Wells did. Wouldn't that be hilarious? That would be pretty amazing.
Now, just real. Was I wrong? Or maybe I'm remembering this, but did Brandon Routh's Superman get the 70s Superman theme when they showed him for that brief second? You know how they're playing themes for each of the characters?
You mean the Christopher Reeve?
The Christopher Reeves theme? I want to say they did, right?
I didn't catch that, actually. I caught a lot of other themes, but that one I didn't catch. I'll have to go back and see. That'd be awesome if they did.
That's what Superman is supposed to be, right? Because whenever he played Superman in the movie, he was supposed to be continuing the Superman storyline, 1, 2, 3, whatever. So, and did you notice his shield's a different color now? It's back to normal. So that means he got a happier, turn of events now. He's not Kingdom Come Superman anymore. So that's cool. That's cool. Not and he didn't get wiped out because of Lex Luthor's little trick.
Right. Scribbling in his name.
Yeah.
Jalou says, so I think he's talking about the injustice thing we were talking about. So like Sliders, but with Superman and Batman. Well, yes. Yeah. Well, actually, the multiverse is like Sliders. Yes, the traveling to parallel Earths. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. And Sliders. We've talked about Sliders like all the time, man. It's great. It's the
first
3 seasons anyway.
Slider.
Yeah, it's good. So earlier, let's see, we were talking about this other stuff. Lister's mate had said, I'd say of all the crossovers, the way they put Black Lightning was the most pathetic way to do it. So he did not really did not enjoy that. Carrie says, so weird. Ryan Choi punched shadow demons, but those same demons killed Ollie. That's incongruous. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Right.
And Ryan Choi only saved maybe 100,000 people compared to 8 billion or whatever that Oliver saved, or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was not one of the finer moments when that happened. Because I was looking too. It's like, how in the world is this guy gonna survive this? And I was looking for him, he's punching it. What? These guys take one hit and they're gone. What?
Yeah, everyone else is doing their fancy moves and their heat vision, and he's just there flailing.
Yeah.
Good for him, I guess.
Carrie says, I know we're jumpy, but why didn't Ryan Choi get a JL Justice League seat?
Well, he's not a superhero yet, right?
He's not a superhero yet.
Tech support.
But I don't know. But I mean, they were kind of, I don't know. I guess they were kind of hitting. He doesn't need to be, right, to be awesome.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't think we're going to be taking him in any Bebo fights.
Look,
giant Bebo fights.
Look, if there's shadow demons, he's good to go. As long as there's shadow demons.
He's good to go.
Yeah.
He can fight shadows like nobody's business. That's what he can do.
But only when there's dozens of them. When there's only one, like you said, he's no good.
Yeah. I mean, that's his powers just aren't. It's got the more the better. He just one. They're like,
off guard. It was like a jump scare for him. He didn't know what to do.
He's like,
oh.
In the chat, Listeners May says, again, going back to John Cryer's Luthor, I wasn't in the crossover. I wasn't too impressed with him as he was in Supergirl. It was like he was a slapstick version of him with an attitude of, whatever. Yeah, he brought that up last time. He likes him more in Supergirl. I guess he doesn't like him how he portrayed him in the crossover.
He was what's his name? Oh my God, what's his name? From the original Reeves Superman. Who was the Lex Luthor there? It was
Gene Hackman.
Hackman. I think it was a little Gene Hackman-y. A little kind of.
So?
Yeah, because Gene Hackman was always over the top with his Lex Luthor, right?
Definitely over the top. That's what the character was in that movie.
So I kind of see that.
Okay.
In John
I actually don't think. I think Cryer was very consistent with his Supergirl portrayal of him. I don't think he's too over the top. I think he's right on.
Yeah, I don't think he was too terribly over top. It's just a different circumstance with him in this setting. It's like it's just wild and crazier, than what it was in Supergirl.
I think the only thing I didn't like was if anyone can just write their name in that book, then why? It didn't have to be. They didn't have to look for the Paragons at all. They could have just all had been there already. They just cross out the name, put a name on top of it, because that's how Lex became a Paragon.
But they didn't know that, right? Until Lex did it.
Yeah, and he gave himself powers.
I think they all needed a power upgrade so they could combine into a giant Bebo and take out the Anti-Monitor. The Anti-Monitor grew real giant, then they could have turned into a giant Bebo, with a Voltron sword or whatever, and then they could just kill him that way. It'd been amazing.
I'm just glad to see it, Bebo. I'm glad to see
West. Since you brought it up, that was for me the worst part of this freaking crossover. I'm gonna get. I know
the Bebo loves you, Jeff.
There's more comments in here I'm gonna get to, folks. Don't worry. And here's the thing. I've said in the past, Bebo is actually one of my favorite parts about Legends. I actually like some of the stuff they did with Bebo and Legends. I think it's whatever. It fits that show. It's goofy, right? And Bebo's fun. I think though it was highly inappropriate to use Bebo at the time they did in this show. But that's always been my biggest issue with Legends. Everything's a joke, right? Well, so it came right after this super serious moment with Diggle and Dinah and what's the last? Renee, sorry.
Right.
and Sarah about Oliver dying, and they're all crying, and oh my God, everybody's devastated, and it was super moving, and I'm crying watching it, and then it's like, haha, Bebo, blah 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 blah, and like what? Immediately after it, like nothing in between. Like,
Well,
you got to have some kind of, like, I get comedy can be mixed with drama, but there's a way to do it that's not ridiculous, and I felt that was just too absurd.
I mean, I don't know. It was mostly just used the way to transition to the fact that, hey,
But it was a waste too. It was a waste. It was a scene that doesn't need to exist. Who cares about that stupid magician dude?
They're trying to show how crazy this new Earth is now.
Right? How now?
Come on. Like it wasn't already crazy.
But it was to establish that now all of the like that you had Weather Wizard fighting Supergirl, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
that's fine. We have different people in there.
But I'm saying, but that's, you know, Weather Wizard specific to the Flash. They unfortunately all of the Legends villains are dead, right? You don't have a Vandal.
All the Legends villains are just other people's villains that they've taken for past seasons.
Yeah, well, yeah, for the most
they
part.
Time Demon dude, and they have some of their own big bads.
You're right. Well, actually, what's his face? The very first one was their own, pretty much, right?
Vandal
Savage.
Oh, Vandal Savage, yeah.
Which I like Vandal Savage, but it was just too much Vandal Savage. It's like every episode, it's like
that dude was over the top. But I think that was like, it was just their way of saying, hey, look at this. We are bringing see how all the worlds are being brought together. It couldn't have been a magical unicorn thing. It couldn't have been something like that, I guess. They wanted.
No, I don't want a magical unicorn either. That's freaking.
But that's the thing. It's a fan favorite. You know, people love Bebo. You know, so.
Well, but I wish they did it that was not directly juxtaposed to the super serious scene about everybody crying. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about that. Yeah, because
it's also taking away from, I think, doing honor to Oliver's character and Stephen Amell, and it's also playing with like your audience's emotions in a not like, I don't know, like nice way.
They did that at the end too, right? Like they did that when they were doing the honorary, you know, when they had the arrow and the flame and Black Lightning was like, seems like a cool, like that's all comedy, like that's all meant for laughs.
That was supposed to be funny. I didn't think that was that line. I think that line sucked. Like that's
it's supposed to be funny.
It was. I think. Well, you know, you don't use the word dude. First off, I don't think he's ever used the word dude in Black Lightning, the actual show.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying there. Well, that's a lot better than Bebo because it's more subtle. But I also think that was a stupid line, right? I think you should just be quiet and do honor to the, because that was a really nice scene at the end, up until the.
Well, yeah,
I think the Legends writers just don't know how to write Black Lightning.
I don't think they know how to. I don't know. Well, yeah.
No, you're right. I don't think Legends writers. I think because it was a Legends episode.
So I don't know if it was Legends writers who actually did it or not. I don't really know if everybody split up like that or not.
I don't know, but I mean, it's technically, I guess, a Legends episode.
It was a Legends episode, yes.
Yeah, because you got to see the three characters that you didn't get to see for
like briefly. And Bebo was in it because of that, because it was Legends.
And Bebo was in it, exactly. So, I think
they did the crossover joke a few too many times, though. I have to say, it was constantly like crossover.
I was okay with that, at least at the beginning. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was just too much.
Hit it hard. They really hit that.
Yeah, it was a little bit too much. Like everybody was in on this joke about the crossover and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah,
it's a little too much breaking the fourth wall if you did too much. But
in the chat, listeners mate says Bebo should have been in the crossover, at least in mentioning. That's fine. That's been fine.
Yeah.
Jalou had said earlier, how can we get Bluntman and Chronic into the DCEU the way Kevin Smith can be integrated into a larger universe outside of the Skewverse?
I mean,
you know what? Why not? Why not bring Bluntman and Chronic into the Legends? Might as well, right?
I mean, just Legends.
Well, no, not that they become Legends necessarily, but they're in the one episode or something, you know? I
can see the Jay and Silent Bob making a cameo. I can see that.
Well, yeah, Jason Mewes has been in it, not as Jay and Silent Bob.
He
was in Flash when Kevin Smith was directing.
Right.
One time.
Yeah, because Kevin Smith directs a bunch of these episodes. Yeah. He directs a bunch of Supergirl episodes and a bunch of Flash episodes. Yeah.
Could be a rights thing. I don't know who has what rights or what studio he's
working with.
Right? I think he still owns all that, probably.
Does he still own it all?
Well, maybe not all of it. I bet Bluntman and Chronic he does, though, because that was a comic book he did, and that he just referenced in the movies. I wouldn't be surprised if he owns that part. Well, again, I don't know for sure. You may be right. Somebody, who knows? I don't know. So, but yeah, Julio, I'm with you. I mean, I'd be cool if they want to throw those in, throw them in.
Yeah, and the Supernatural Winchester brothers would be cool too. Just one throwaway line. And Riverdale.
No.
So Marx beat me to it because yes, right? Like this is pretty much saying everything on the CW channel can potentially be a part of this new massive multiverse.
Yeah. Sabrina and
they could have been before. They could have been in a
a
separate multiverse before too, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it doesn't seem now that they've gone this far and gone this weird, they can now kind of do that types of introduction without it seeming too out of place because now they've been introduced like, hey, here's all this weird stuff we're throwing at you. You remember these other shows that you haven't seen, like Titans and Doom Patrol? Well, guess what? They are part of the same universe.
Yeah. Supernatural's crossovered with Scooby-Doo, so I think they get crossover
I
with
still gotta watch that, man, because I love Scooby-Doo so much.
Yeah.
Oh, Jalou says, including Gilmore Girls? Question mark.
Oh,
Sure.
oh man,
All
Yeah,
of it.
man.
it prove.
Get the Gilmore
Gossip
Girls in
Girl,
there.
even. I mean, it's all in.
Yeah, let's go back to all the old WB and UPN shows, right? Hey, let's get Star Trek Voyager.
Party of Five. Yeah.
I don't think CBS would like that.
Oh,
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Party of Five. Oh, dude, I love Party of Five, man.
yeah, there you
Jeff
go.
Campbell, Jennifer Love Hewitt, all those people.
Mhm.
Scott Wolf.
Yeah.
All right. In the chat, Carrie says, query, how did the Monitor get his powers? He was just a scientist with a radiation suit, so how did he become a god? Good
I
question.
don't know. Yeah, they didn't really explain that,
They
did
did not
they?
explain that at all.
I mean, they don't really explain. Okay, so here's the things they don't really explain.
There's a
Like,
lot.
if Anti-Monitor exists, should then there always have been a battle between, like, if the Monitor didn't exist, shouldn't the Anti-Monitor have won a long time ago? Because he has all of these special powers. He took him to the beginning of the world, right? Like, Anti-Monitor took him to the beginning of everything, right? I think.
Dawn of Time.
Dawn of Time, yeah. I don't know. You're not supposed to. You're just supposed to be like, hey, look at all these people. look at Ezra Miller. Look at him.
Well,
And
in the
Marx-
comic
Marx-
book,
Yeah.
in the comic book, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's kind of a blur, but I think some other alien person does the whole trying to look back in time to the beginning of time, and it accidentally opens up or creates or whatever the antimatter universe, and then that somehow that begins to splinter off into the multiverse. So it weakens our universe, the positive universe, by splintering it off. But then there's one powerful antimatter universe. And the Monitor's born like on the moon or something somehow. I forget exactly how it's supposed to happen. And then his counterpart is born in an antimatter universe. So
On the anti-moon.
Yeah, where is he born?
anti-moon.
In the
yeah.
Earth's core or something? And what's the difference of the opposite of the moon? I don't know.
Sun. The sun.
He's
Sun.
born in the sun.
It's born in the sun. That's why he's got that bad skin. It's sunburn.
Yeah.
Well, that was Rory's idea, right? Let's throw him in the sun and we'll take care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, really, a lot of the stuff doesn't make a lot of sense in the comic book either. Like, it's a little crazy. Oh, there's plot holes. Let's just say that. And then, and there is in the show too. So
It was an. I mean, really, the crisis was an excuse to kind of merge all of their separate storylines into one, so
Yeah.
they'd have to keep writing a million different storylines for these characters. It was really more of a budgetary thing than anything else, right? Like, we can't have 5 Batman stories going on at the same time. Let's just do this thing. It brings it all together. So, I think it's great. Look, they did, they did something that I thought they'd never do, which is like, hey, we acknowledge that these other universes in the DC, except for Gotham is not one of these universes that exists in a way.
Oh. I'm okay. I don't like that show either.
Or the
And
no,
Krypton didn't make an appearance either.
Yeah.
Although Lobo would have been really fun.
Yeah, so like, hey, these general DC universes all exist in one big bubble, in one big plane, and which I thought was a really good idea for them to do.
Yeah.
Especially
Sorry.
No, I said just especially if they're competing with how Marvel was able to combine all of their worlds into one place.
Yeah, Marvel doesn't have quite that history, right? Marvel doesn't have as many TV shows and stuff, and it's something DC has unique that they really played up, which is good. Warner Brothers has always been really bad about that. They've always handcuffed them, limited the creators, and I'm glad that they loosened up a little bit for this.
Yeah.
Let me share some chat things here, and then I want to definitely get into I think a lot of the good stuff, because I know we've been kind of focusing on stuff that doesn't make so much sense.
Oh yeah.
Jalou says, there is that character from Teen Titans, Control Freak, which opens the possibility of integrating anything on television. Who's Control Freak?
I don't know.
Anybody know? Marx? Do you know? No?
In the Teen Titans comic book or the
I don't know.
TV
So
show?
Jalou, tell us. Yeah, tell us more about Control Freak. I'm interested.
I've just started watching the Titans TV show, so I don't know if it's in that or not. Now, Doom Patrol has a bunch of stuff that could warp, and they go different dimensions and do all crazy stuff. So,
Lister's Mate says about the Monitor's powers. They kind of explained it. They assumed that everyone knew how he got his powers. It was through all the radiation of the machinery, so it was supposed to be kind of a given. That's interesting.
as radiation does.
Well,
Yeah.
radiation gives everybody in the Marvel Universe powers.
I know.
It's true.
Carrie says, the only reason we have the Anti-Monitor in this existence is because the Monitor created a breach so the Anti-Monitor could come here, but there was no explanation as to why either of them had powers. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I guess the experiment is why he couldn't breach the other worlds, but that experiment was
Something
how.
right. I think somehow the experiment led to his powers, right? That's kind of what they were alluding to.
Kind of what they're alluding
Yeah,
to.
I think so. That's what Luthor was wanting to do, so he could get powers, I guess, or something.
Or they wrote it in a book.
Or right in a book, yeah.
The book, and then they got powers.
By the way, I know it's goofy, but I like the line, the brave and the bald.
The
That
Breaking the
was
Ball
funny.
was good.
That's
That was
a good
clever.
line.
Clever.
That's very funny.
It's funny. Some of those lines are like really hit, and some of them are just cringeworthy. But that they tried.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like in reality, the crisis should have been a season-long or half-season-long event, really, and they crammed it into 5 episodes.
Yeah, they crammed a lot in those
Yeah.
5 episodes.
So,
That's why.
see,
That's why it's got that roll like that. Whoa, I'm over here, and stuff because they crammed so much in there.
So overall though, like I actually really enjoyed Crisis, and these last 2 parts. Really, only the first part I thought was weak. Like when I stopped watching, I was like, wow, that was great, man. Like by far and away for me, that was by the best crossover they've ever done. Like not even close for me. Like I think they knocked it out of the park. I mean, yeah, like we're talking about, sure, there's always stuff that doesn't make sense. I mean, there's always going to be that in these shows, right? Always. I don't know, man. I enjoyed it though. Like I think they did a lot of stuff right. And like you're saying, I think it's cool that they're all in the same, well, mainly on the Earth Prime now. So I know you may not like it as much, Francis, but so I had 2 favorite parts. One of them was Ezra Miller,
Yeah, that's great.
and
That's
the main
awesome.
reason is I had no idea that was going to happen until I watched
Nope.
it on screen. And they
Nope.
they said there was, and so because I didn't expect it. I saw him, was like, oh my god, this is amazing, because I think Ezra Miller is really good at this Flash, and we've never, I think you were referencing Marx. We've never had a movie. They haven't let the movie world cross over with the TV world, right?
No.
And also the scene, and again, it may not make total sense, but whatever. It was super funny. Like I thought it was great with Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller, like how they interacted with each other. Like I was actually laughed out loud at that scene. Like I thought it was awesome.
Fitting each other's suits. They're like, "Oh, your suit's so nice." Oh.
Yeah, I know. Like it was just super fun.
I kind of like the TV suit better, to be honest.
Me too. I
Well,
agree.
the movie suit is kind of weird.
It's a little
It's
noisy.
a weird version.
It's like,
Noisy? Did you-
Yeah, it's like
Too
the
busy?
Michael Bay Transformers, where it's all like I don't know what to look at. It's just so busy, and I feel like that's his suit's so busy. It just got angles everywhere.
It is. Yeah, it is a weird suit.
It is
But
nice.
and by the way, if you don't know, folks, Ezra Miller plays the Flash in the Justice League movie. That's what the crossover was, that he actually appeared. And I actually read, because I was curious. So I read a Variety article with an interview with Mark Guggenheim, one of the executive producers of Arrow. And he said that WB head actually called him up after they had wrapped and said, "Is there any way you can get Ezra Miller in this crossover?"
Well, that's cool.
And he said,
Glad.
"Yup." And then the guy, the head, was like, "Wait, I thought you wrapped." He's like, "Yup, but we can do it."
All there be light.
Yeah.
So-
So
So they talked first. He talked to Grant. He said, and Grant was really on board with it. He thought it was great, and then Ezra thought it was great. So they got like a small crew together, and they shot the extra scene, and they put it in, and that's how it happened. Because the WB had asked them if they could do it.
Now, logically, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's cool.
Yeah, you could say, here's the deal. Because he was in the Speed Force, you could technically, I suppose, say that Ezra Miller is just from another Earth that somehow also maybe got trapped in the Speed Force, I suppose. And that's how we've seen him.
But at that point, were all the Earths destroyed?
Yes, but I don't know. Look, I'm just trying to make
details.
Yeah.
But maybe, look, we don't know exactly how the Speed Force works. Maybe somehow he was able to get into the Speed Force of the thing that survived. I don't know.
Maybe he got stuck
the Speed
in there.
Force exists outside of all these destroyed Earths.
See, I get it. This is because technically, the DC Cinematic Universe is sort of going through a soft reboot, aren't they? In a way, they're readjusted. There's going to be a new Batman and stuff. So this is, this is triggering the moment of where the new Earth Cinematic Universe happens. So that's why we'll probably have a different Joker because you won't be whatever
there you
that.
Go. See.
Yeah. See, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's a good explanation, actually.
Well, they keep saying that the first Flash episode is supposed to be Flashpoint. Like, that's what they're making the very first Flash
movie. You mean, right?
Movie. Sorry, first movie is supposed to be Flashpoint. How great would it be if Grant Gustin did like a little cameo in the movie?
Oh
right?
my God, they have to do that. If they make a Flash movie, they have to have Grant Gustin in a cameo.
I think they have to. You're right. I think
now
they just
they've done this. I think they'd be. You're right, but I'm so glad that they're actually open to this now, and actually that the WB head was the one prompting it, rather than like trying to like convince them, like and beg and plead to be able to do it or something.
Right. Well, I mean, this is really the one thing that they're doing right that Marvel hasn't done right, which is show that there is a connection between an actual connection now between TV universe and movie universe. So I'm happy to see that too. Like that's really.
We're
amazing.
gonna start getting that now, but yeah, that was like internal politics and stuff going on.
It was, With two different heads of the departments or whatever just couldn't come to an agreement.
Yeah, butting heads, which is sad for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it suffered a little bit because of that.
Although, I mean, I only watched a couple, like first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they had what's her face in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Thor
Sif, yeah.
I mean, that was a way I thought they were trying to tie in.
They
mentioned events. They mentioned events from the universe that happened in the MCU, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it got more and more vague as it went. Like they wouldn't even say
they got more
names.
away from that.
They'd be like, the big green guy. They don't even say his name.
Really? They couldn't even say the Hulk.
Yeah, I don't know if they couldn't or they just didn't want to. I don't know what the deal was there, but stuff like that would happen. And then even I think I could be wrong because I'm not 100% caught up yet. But I thought I heard that like they've just dropped even trying to be in the same continuity like for the last season. So.
You're right. So I am caught up, and they mentioned Thanos in the set 2 seasons ago. Actually talked about Thanos coming and doing what he's going to do. And when they did last season, I think it started after Endgame, but a year after technically Infinity War, and nothing has changed. And so they are in a separate universe. Nothing has changed. Everything is still the same. No one's disappeared. There's no one affected by the snap. It's just they go on as if nothing happened. Like.
It's another Earth. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they have other Earths there too, right? Marvel has multiple universes too.
Yeah. They're embracing that too now. So more, especially in Doctor Strange movie.
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
That's interesting though. The big green guy. So the Arrowverse shows probably mentioned Marvel characters more than the actual Marvel shows.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Last season,
That's true.
Cisco was always talking about like, hey, Spider-Man, or like he was always dropping Marvel character names.
Yeah, I know it's funny. Yeah, well, that's gonna change now, but yeah, it's always been kind of weird.
Are they doing new Marvel? Oh, you mean like the DC? The Disney Plus Marvel shows? Do you mean with them?
Yeah, it's all going to be folded over the same.
Because that's right, because it's the actual movie characters. Right.
Well, just the TV branch is going to be folded in now. Okay. It's going to be all controlled under Jeff Loeb's umbrella. So not Jeff Loeb. Sorry, not Jeff Loeb.
Used to be. He's not the head.
No.
Right?
Yeah, Kevin Feige. Yeah, not Jeff Loeb. So it's all going to get more linked now. That's why they're ending shows. Runaways is going to be last season, that kind of stuff, and then they're going to start fresh. There's been some words lately that, and I don't know how real it is or anything because it's just recent and who knows, but about the Defenders and stuff maybe making a return soon.
Yes, yeah, mm-hmm.
That'd be amazing.
On Netflix?
No, just wherever Disney.
A new version with different people playing it.
No, same people, I believe, right?
Well, but they have to wait a certain number of years before they can use those.
Well, it's supposed to be 2 years originally, but I bet you there's some clause where they can pay off early and stuff, and there usually is. Yeah. But that's the rumor, is that now they have rights back, and the rumor is that they're going to bring back the same actors, but I don't know if that's true or not, because I think the actor from Luke Cage is on that show called Evil now, and so I don't know how that's going to work out. So, and that seems to be a pretty popular show on CBS right now, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I guess if they do bring back the shows themselves, not just maybe a character making an appearance, they were like smaller seasons, so maybe he could do both. It's not unheard of anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'll make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, and then we can have the crossover Marvel with DC, and they're
I think listeners may mention that earlier in the chat, and he said like that's probably never going to happen. Yeah.
Crisis Gauntlet.
No, I think it's called Amalgam, right? Amalgam Universe.
Oh, the Amalgam, yeah, man. Back in the day, I read those. They did a comic. They actually did a crossover with the comics. They called it Amalgam.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're ever going to see it again.
No, no.
Yeah, they did a few. They did a couple of crossovers, but Amalgam was one big one.
Amalgam was cool.
That was a neat idea. It's kind of clever, and I loved the Bat Claw or whatever his name was. That was Batman and Wolverine combined.
Oh, wow.
That's right. The Malcolm was actually fusing the two characters together, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat. Some of the matches you got. Can't think of any other ones off the top of my head right now, but besides him. But yeah, there's some cool ones.
Now, other comic companies will like cross over like with those ones, but just Marvel and DC themselves are very unlikely to do that again.
Well, yeah, because they own, DC owns a bunch of like these other comic.
Yeah, but even the ones they don't own, they've done like sometimes they'll do crossovers with, I think.
Yeah, we just had Batman and Teenage
Turtles.
Yeah. I bet you someday. I wouldn't rule out someday, not anytime soon, but someday, Marvel DC movie thing. Because you know how much money that would make? It'd make all the money. It would make all the money that you.
You're not wrong.
That would take down Endgame, right? Is Endgame now the highest grossing movie, right? Yeah.
Probably,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Take down that, man. It would like obliterate it, probably.
Probably would. It would be insane.
$10 billion.
Oh God.
There was just no other money for any of the movies. It's just that one.
That was the only movie that came out the whole year.
Yeah, it's all came out.
It was like the 52 or DC. They released a movie every week, and it was just that. That's.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man. I might be onto something. That would people would watch it. I bet they would do it.
Probably would. Yeah. Did it with the comic books, didn't they? 52.
I actually like 52. That series. I got every single one, man, every week.
Yeah.
Well, it's because Renee Montoya became the Question in that. It was so good. Batwoman got reintroduced.
Yeah, they really need to reintroduce her and have the Question. And this gives us the opportunity to recast Huntress also with the new Earth. So maybe we'll get Huntress back.
We do. And you're right. Oh my God, you're right. In Batwoman, we have to get Renee Montoya in that show. And particularly, well, not.
That'd be great.
I mean, she could be GCPD at first, but at some point has the Question.
Oh, yeah. I think that would be awesome if they do that. I hope they do.
Because Gotham had a version of her. Folks, if you don't know, Renee Montoya is a Gotham City detective, or maybe an officer first and then a detective. But she becomes the Question, which is one of my favorite heroes. And then she also has a relationship with Kate Kane, who is Batwoman.
Well, they have here's the thing: if they are going to fold some of the movie universe into the TV universe, they have a Renee Montoya already in Birds of Prey.
Wait, you mean in the upcoming movie? Harley Quinn Birds of Prey?
Well, the movie's still separate Earth.
Yeah,
so.
It's
right.
I don't know what's going on with that.
But they do have Renee Montoya on there.
We haven't seen that yet, so I don't know if that's any good.
That Birds of Prey movie, I'm like, this could be really great or it could be really horrible.
No,
I just don't know yet.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know.
Birds of Prey I wanted. I know you and I talk about Birds of Prey all the time. We wanted. That's not the one I wanted.
No, it's very much Harley Quinn's.
It's a Harley Quinn movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless the commercials.
Which is fine. Which is great, but make it a Harley Quinn movie.
What if the trailer's totally misleading you and Harley's barely in it?
Oh God.
No,
It's like executive decision where Steven Seagal dies in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think that's what's happening. It'd be hilarious if that happened. But yeah, I don't know. DC movies have been, they're not always quite as sure things.
Polished.
It's polished.
Polished? What's polished?
Although obviously
They're not as
Joker's
polished?
good. I need to watch Joker. That seems to be a masterpiece from what I heard.
11 Oscar nominations.
Did it get that many? That's crazy, man.
Most noms this year.
It's the most of any
Holy
superhero
crap.
movie.
Wow. Most noms of any movie this year?
Yeah.
Superhero. Was it all movies this year?
Of all
Movies,
movies.
Oh wow.
I never thought a superhero movie would ever happen to a superhero movie.
Yeah. Joaquin
I mean, it's
Phoenix,
not my kind of movie because it's too dark, but that's impressive.
best movie, best actor, best director. It has it all. Yeah.
Wow.
So-
So we could get 2 actors winning for Joker for the best actor in the last decade or so, or whatever.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. He's not going to get it, but it'd be cool.
You don't think so?
No.
Did you really like his performance though?
I did. I thought he was great. I thought he was really good as the Joker. But, I think they're going to give... I think now that Leo has had a taste of the Oscar, I think they're going to give it to him for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, he definitely deserved it for other stuff. Yeah.
Well, he got it. He got his first one last year.
He did?
Yeah, he got it for...
I don't follow this anymore. What did he win Best Actor?
He got his first best... It was either last year or the year before. For The Revenant, he got the best actor.
The Revenant, yes. You're right. You're right. Well,
Best fight scene against a bear. That's what it was.
Best fight scene against a bear.
I love that category.
It's a great category.
Thank God they added that one. That's what it's been missing. Hope he reenacted it on stage.
They did. Yeah, Batch or whatever came out and was the bear, and it just did the whole thing.
Who's
It was great.
Bunderbatch?
Oh, God, really?
Or whatever. Benedict Bunderwatch.
Cumberbatch?
I don't know.
Is Cumberbatch
Benedict
in that
Cumberbatch.
movie?
Yeah.
No, but reason I thought that is he plays a dragon in Hobbit, and there's that footage where he does the raw and everything.
You're right.
So he has the acting
Hobbit,
chops
you mean,
to
right?
the bear.
I like that you call them Bunderbatch.
I don't know. For some reason, he was suddenly like a Hobbit name character.
Well, you use the B on his first name and Cumberbatch.
Bumberbatch.
Hey, get Bumberbatch up here.
And for this Oscar, Bumberbatch.
I mean,
it's like John Travolta, right? Trying to say Idina Menzel.
we get Benedict Cumberbatch can't say penguin, so
There you go. He deserves
he's
it.
just penwing. He calls penguin.
We all have our words,
Yeah.
Lister's Mate says, yeah, there needs to be a Marvel DC crossover. They could make it where the Justice League and Super Friends team up with the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. That'd be cool.
I mean, Super Friends is. I mean, yeah. Hey, Wonder Twins. They've already did the
Let's
Wonder
talk about
Twins
it right now because you brought it up.
Yeah.
That's my other favorite part. Again, both these things I did not expect happening, right? So that was.
No, I
awesome
didn't expect that.
And I really want to get back to the Oliver stuff in a minute,
Sure.
though. So it ends, of course, after the table thing. They hear this weird noise, like a monkey, right? And we see it says Gleek on the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, so if you don't know, Super Friends it was a show in the 70s. It was about the Justice League, basically. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, all those guys. And I loved it as a kid, right? I remember watching it. And Gleek was this space monkey that was part, like the Wonder Twins, which are these twins who have powers. When they say Wonder Twin powers activate, and they put their hands together. And that was like their buddy, basically, right? Gleek was their friend who would carry the guy around in a pail. When he turned to water, he would carry the pail of water. So it was great that there was a Super Friends reference, but then also they did the Super Friends theme music or a version of it.
Yeah.
I was just dying. I was like, oh my God, that's so good. And then they showed the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
In the last shot, which looked just like, it was like a kind of dilapidated version of it, but so good that that looked like the Hall of Justice from the show.
I just love that that's the same. I guess the same hangar that they use for previous crossover events, and they're like,
so, right?
Oh, we've had this before.
but we never knew, I guess, what the outside looked like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
clever, actually. That's good.
It was a smart move. I like that a lot.
But I was just like, oh, it was so, man, it was such a good thing, just to for people who watch that show. It was just such a good.
But I started watching Super Friends, or a few episodes because DC Streaming's got them all. And,
you mean recently?
Yeah, like a month ago, I watched a couple of them from the beginning. And in the beginning, they don't actually have the Wonder Twins and
No,
Gleek.
there's these other teenagers in it, right?
Yeah, teenagers are in their dog and stuff.
Yeah, Wonder Twins came in later.
Yeah, so that was like, I'd forgotten about that dog.
But they do have. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but if they have, did they have a name for those characters? Did they have? Were they?
I think they had names. Yeah.
And names.
Like known superheroes?
Was it like Marvin and something? Or
No,
something
they
like
were
that?
just regular kids. I'm pretty sure teenagers who were hanging around the Justice League for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, they just
didn't have powers.
Superhero fans.
Yeah, like Marvin and Jill and their dog. I don't know, Barky.
Yeah,
that's not
the
their
dog
name.
Yeah, dog was like a Scooby-Doo-ish type dog. He wanted to be
talk?
a super. No, I think he just did noises like
Well,
whatever.
Scooby can actually talk though.
That's right. I forgot he can actually talk. Yeah, he wasn't cool. It's cool, Scooby-Doo.
No, definitely not. Nobody is. That is kind of weird, right? And then I guess they decided, let's put the Wonder Twins in. At least they have powers.
Yeah.
So does that mean that So that was at the end of a Legends episode. Does that mean the Wonder Twins are a part of the Legends of Tomorrow?
Well, I'll tell you what Mark Guggenheim said in that same interview in Variety, because they asked about that. He said the Wonder Twins. He actually said our jump ball. Whoever wants them can run with them. Basically, we have no plans right now. Whatever series wants to take them. But I think Legends is the best fit for that.
Legends makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Did they have the Wonder Twins in Smallville? Something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
They actually, Smallville actually was able to make things that, because Wonder Twins are actually kind of referred. It was usually like really goofy, like characters.
No, totally serious. They're gritty.
Yeah. Imagine someone trying to do that.
F you, we're the Wonder Twins. Wonder Twins powers combined, we're gonna F you up.
I know. Imagine that's what they said now. Like,
Gleek's like smoking like a big giant cigar and shooting a machine gun.
Oh gosh, you're giving them ideas now for Legends, man. But Smallville actually they made them pretty cool, I think, actually. Smallville was able to make all that stuff.
Well, I remember,
cool,
yeah.
There was no Gleek, as far as I remember. It was just the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, I don't think they had a Gleek.
I really want to see Gleek now, though, man. I want to see Gleek. If in the next crossover, somewhere I want to see Gleek. Like, we got to see Gleek.
You can't see Gleek without the Wonder Twins. So you're going to see the Wonder Twins.
You could see Gleek without the Wonder Twins, but probably not. You probably wouldn't.
Maybe by the end.
Maybe see Gleek first, and then later on.
Wonder Twins have to get Gleek.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Like Gleek, they're trying to find Gleek. Or maybe Gleek discovers them.
What was the Wonder Twins aliens or what?
Aliens, because they had like the Spock type, Vulcan ears almost, or elf type ears. I think they were aliens. I'm pretty sure.
Gleek's an alien thing, yeah.
He's a space like alien monkey.
Yeah.
I don't know like if he came with them from their same planet or how that worked, but.
I'll have to try.
But you guys enjoyed that ending there, the way they did that little.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I thought that was a really good nod for like people who, because the average fan or the average Arrowverse watcher is not going to know who Gleek is.
No, Julie was like, "What was that about?"
Yeah, no one's going to really know who Gleek is. So I thought those were really good. Like, I'm glad that they're picking from the archives, technically, right? And picking up these guys. So maybe we'll get a Stilt Man, or maybe Stilt Man, yeah. Whereas he had like rocket powered stilts.
I'll be right back. Keep talking about Stilt Man
and Kite Man.
Kite Man, yeah. I mean, this now allows for more and more ridiculous villains and heroes, which I'm all for. Like, I think we need a little more. It's become a little too dramatic. I feel like Flash lost its humor, along the way for some reason. I don't know why it had to lose its humor.
Because they're always like, somebody's doomed to die. If it wasn't Barry, it was Iris was doomed to die too at one point, right?
Yeah. And then we have to lose our daughter.
Yeah, our daughter's gone.
But I think what bothered me, and maybe we should wait for him to come back, for Jeff to come back, but they really downplayed. If you're only watching The Flash, they really downplayed that he was the one that was supposed to die, right? Like, that's the big thing from The Flash, right? Flash disappears, Flash is dead.
Yeah.
And like 2 seconds, Oliver's just said, "Nope." No, that was. No, I did it. I got you, brother. I got you.
This is not the Flash you want.
Yeah, but it feels so anticlimactic after they built up this whole thing from season 1. Crisis, the Flash disappears, and really the Flash had very little to do with the crisis.
And I have to say one thing I'm disappointed too with, or a missed opportunity that they could have had, which I'm sure was probably because of time and stuff, was they've hinted for a long time that Reverse Flash was involved, and then he wasn't.
Set photos.
Yeah, it said it in. Was he on set photos too?
Yeah, there were set photos of him in Crisis.
Oh, well, then they must have cut something because.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they made interesting.
Or what did they make him? Not Paragon. What did they make him? What was his name? The one who had to witness all of the terrible things, and he had to wear the
Pariah.
Oh, Pariah. That's it. So maybe they thought that's too many wells. You already have a Pariah. You don't need wells. You don't need a.
Well, I just felt like because they had said in the original paper, that Reverse Flash was seen, right? Was involved somehow fighting with them. Yeah. And then I felt like, and I guess I was completely wrong, but I felt like the whole Nora storyline with Reverse Flash, that they were hinting that, he said, I draw the different Speed Force. I thought maybe that was like the anti-Speed Force or something, which totally makes sense with Reverse Flash and everything. But I guess I was totally wrong. Or that's something they just dropped.
I think they just dropped it, because again, they went, they build up that whole Barry's going to disappear and he was gone for they don't even show him being gone. They show him, they fast forward, they time jump 6 months or whatever. And then he just appears as if we were supposed to know what happened to him.
Yeah. Which a lot of people have been asking, what did they eat for 6 months?
In the vanishing point, do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they not have to eat because time doesn't. I don't know.
I don't know. Was that how long they're supposed to be there? 6 months?
Something like that. I mean, the guy's facial hair.
Maybe it just feels like 6 months to them, but it's really not.
I mean, but the facial hair grew.
Yeah, the facial hair grew.
Yeah, that's true. It did.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a really quick grower of facial hair.
Yeah. 2
That's
days.
a superpower. That's a superpower.
Just said it's a superpower. He finally found out what he's good at.
He's going to be, I'm actually Harry Man in this series.
Harry Man.
Harry Wells and Harry Man.
He just grows out.
There's the new series. Harry Wells.
Grows out his beard, just whips it around and knocks people.
Yeah, he can whip it around him and yank him.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Dibney wasn't in any of this, was he?
Was he in the Flash?
He was in the early part.
He must have been at some point, right? No.
I don't remember him at all in any of.
It's hard for me to remember everything that happens in the first 3 parts because it was a month ago.
I feel like episode 1 or 2 or something. Whichever episode was the Flash episode. I feel like he was in it.
3. It would have been episode 3.
I could have sworn
they tried to work most people in at least a little bit, except
Killer Frost had some stuff to do, but I don't. Dibney was in there.
I don't know. That's all right. Just give him his own show. So Marx wants, right? I'll take that too.
Yeah, him and Detective Chimp or whatever his name is can team up.
Detective Chimp, that's right. Well, that's right. Julie just said Legion of Super Pets, so there you go. Gleek,
yeah.
Detective Chimp. And then it says, Let's Just Make says, I'll bet they'll find Gleek, the Flash and Legends will incorporate him in a garage storyline somehow.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Well, Let's Just Make just says, Dibney was in the second part, a little in the third.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Thank you,
it was just not enough. Not enough Cisco, not enough Dibney.
Yeah, I remember Cisco got his powers back for a hot second.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But wait, not permanently, right? Or does he now? Wait, does he?
I don't know.
Right?
He might. I don't know.
Yeah, he might.
Because I think it was.
He changed with the New Earth, so who knows with Earth Prime.
That's true.
It was weird that we didn't see him in the Star Labs when Killer Frost was trying to protect it. I was like, where the hell's Cisco? He's out on a date or something with his girlfriend?
Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it could be, I guess, because maybe he doesn't know all the. So I guess Jean did his mind thing that everybody except Cisco, so Cisco doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Right.
It'd be hilarious.
I love that.
Well, Cisco comes back and he's like, "Hey, what's happening, everybody?"
Did you see the trailer for Flash? After post-crisis? Yeah, apparently they're gonna make a big deal about how things have changed, and there's a new enemy, a secret enemy, that's doing stuff. So.
They got Sarah and JJ
and
the daughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Julie's
right.
Just
Yeah.
nice to see
Yeah.
her.
Yeah,
It's nice to see Sarah back, right?
Sorry.
What's
That's
that?
fine. By the way, Listeners Made Hit said hi, hey Julie. He saw her walk by.
Oh yeah, Anthony said hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. That was always a real problem for me on the show. That basically they had a daughter that just like died or something.
Because it was Flashpoint. It changed the timeline.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they got a
Flashpoint.
son, but still.
Now they
So
fixed
did
it.
you
Now
guys
they-
like that though? I loved it that Sarah, their daughter,
Just
Dickles, and Lila's daughter returned. Did you like that?
I
did.
like that.
Oh,
that
that was
was a
great.
nice touch.
Yeah.
It was very
But-
nice.
Does that mean? Hopefully, that means Cisco's brother is back too, because he died.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. That's when he was all depressed and he hated Barry.
Yeah.
They
So
probably
hopefully,
won't though.
yeah,
But
no.
they could totally do it.
Yeah, yeah.
They could do anything. Yeah, they could tweak. I mean, I don't want to change it too much, but yeah, anything could happen. Bloodworks could get a better name. You know, who
It's
knows?
so bad. I love him in that role. He's so good.
Oh yeah, he's good in
Terrible
that role.
name.
It's not the best name, but that's the name in the comic books. Yeah, I loved the two kids. Thought that was great, but that only ensures even more so that the future 2040 Arrowverse is going to be different now. So it has to be somewhat different. I hope.
I mean, yeah, because I was gonna say that Earth One, like, doesn't exist anymore, right? Earth One is not a thing. So the 2040 Earth One.
It's Earth Prime now, yeah.
Here's my question for you: Is Earth One now called Earth Prime,
Yes.
or is there actually Earth One and Earth Prime is like 0 or whatever?
I think Earth Prime is replacing Earth One.
In the comic books, Prime is 0 though, and then there's a 1,
Oh,
2,
is
3.
there? Oh,
I believe so. Yeah,
Is one where the evil versions of them live? Or
I think so. Right, they're opposite. Well, it was X. No, X was it.
Lex
Well,
was a
that's
Nazi. That's a Nazi.
Nazi.
Oh, that's the Nazi one. You're right.
Wait,
Right.
really? One was the evil. I thought one was always like the main people.
Well,
Or you
I
think
mean, like the
Prime was the main?
Justice Syndicate or whatever they're called.
Right. This.
Is that the
Yeah.
evil ones?
Yeah, and I think it's switched based on wherever we're at in the numbering system. I think sometimes it's been Earth 2. I don't know, but I wonder if maybe they could be Earth 1 for
I
a
wanna-
future.
I got to the stuff in the chat, by the way, folks, in a minute. And Scorpio, thank you for joining us. He just joined us. He said, best part of the whole thing for me was watching the two Supermen fight. So that's back in the first
So
three
two.
parts, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Listener says, speaking of Harry, man, I'm sure I have that power. LOL. Okay.
Oh.
There you go. You can be with Harry Wells. So here's the thing. It's cool that they're all like together now for sure. But why is it pretty much just the Earth 1 people outside of, I know why they did it, but that get to be Earth Prime, and like all the other Earth people just disappeared apparently, right? So there's like, why is it like the Earth? Why is it the only? Oh, it's not only Earth 1, because why? But why is it those particular ones that got chosen to be in Earth Prime?
Because they got their own shows.
Yes, you're right.
no.
That's the reason. I know. I
Aside
guess, is there a logical explanation?
Well, see, this is near the end of our last show when we talked about the first three. I was torn. Like, I was like, oh, I can understand why they want to combine Supergirl's Earth and maybe Black Lightning's Earth, but it's really depressing if they do that to everybody, because it's like Tom Welling's Smallville is, he just died. It's kind of depressing. And all of them
Harry
died.
from Earth 2 is dead, right? And whatever.
Yeah, and they're all dead. That's really depressing. So I was like, I wanted the best of both worlds. I wanted them to combine what ones they wanted to for the shows, but then I wanted them to keep the other ones. But I couldn't think of any logical reason why that would happen. And they just did it anyway.
There's no reason why Jesse Quick and Harry Wells can't exist on Earth too.
That's
like,
true.
every
Because there's still a multiverse, they could still be around. You're right.
yeah, they can still be around. But I think the reason why those got the Prime Earth was most of them were the Paragons, right?
See, that's another reason
There you
why
go.
Black Lightning should have been a Paragon, because then that would have
Right,
made. Then it could tie that all.
Otherwise, why is he there, right?
Yeah.
He's there to
Wow.
acknowledge that there's a Black Light TV show.
It's like, I'd be here more, but I'm in Atlanta, so it's plane
Yeah.
tickets are expensive.
So basically, you're right. Basically, the whole point of this was just we want all our main characters on the same Earth.
Right.
Which is hilarious, because they just now gonna have Stargirl, which is on Earth 2. So it begins again.
Which is fine. No, I think that's great. I think that's great, because they need their own worlds, right? You can't. Titans is never going to mesh with anything from the Arrowverse. And Doom Patrol is never going to mesh with anything from the Arrowverse. So it makes sense. But yeah,
Jalou says, I guess this is like a Sailor Moon here. In the name of Scorpio Moon, he shall punish you. Nice. And then Listener's Mate says the term Earth Prime sounds like it was taken from Sliders. He says in season 3 or 4 there was something Earth Prime, and Jalou nods.
Nice. Oh,
that's
sure.
It's a parallel universe term that gets thrown around.
That's probably used in lots of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Jalou also says from 84 until 96, DC published Star Trek comics, I guess. So TNG and TMP, what's the motion picture? Star Trek era stuff can be talked about in this show without not being DC. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., someone's ringtone was the Imperial March from Star Wars, obviously. So because obviously they own Star Wars and Marvel, so why not? Why not have some Star Trek stuff show up every once in a while in the DC universe? I'm good with that.
Yeah, the Legion of Superheroes should show up in Enterprise.
Just bring Q.
Yes.
Just show John Delancey as Q.
Yeah, nice.
And Bouncing Boy can get
Bouncing Boy.
Captain.
Why doesn't he in this crisis?
Maybe we'll get Bouncing Boy finally. Well, and actually, Supergirl, we're going to see Wen coming back from the future. So it'll be interesting to see if... Yeah. And so it'll be interesting to see if this whole New Earth thing has changed the future at all, or how... It sounds like all the shows are going to have some kind of side effect. Like they're not going to be... None of them are going to be untouched. They're all going to be affected somehow.
So maybe those questions will be answered, like what happened to these people and like what happened to these characters we learned to become attached to. Where's Patty Spivot?
Oh my God, dude! You're right. Perfect time to bring back Patty Spivot. In fact, what they should have done now is that Barry and Patty Spivot are married. That's what they should be doing.
I'm okay with that. I am way okay with that.
They can do it because everything's changed. It's fine.
Oh man,
Marx, what do you? I thought you liked Patty Spivot too. No, you don't.
I do. It just would be kind of depressing.
No, because they belong together. I'm sorry, Iris. Not that great of a character.
Other than that,
she's better now though. They finally did something decent with her, but
still, other than they grew up,
I
still don't understand how they connect. Patty and him connected.
He's not related to Patty.
Well, yeah,
he's not related, but it's not like he grew up with her.
When you're related, when you're family, you're connected, Francis. So.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to get married though when you're family.
You see the connection of Luke and Leah from they didn't even know it.
They just had it. They didn't know it. They only had a kiss. They didn't do anything else.
The Force stopped them.
No,
thank
stop
God
them.
for the Force.
Okay.
He's like, all right. Yeah, anyway, Patty Spivot. Yes, all right. I agree.
Well, and I think they should, if they need to recast Huntress, bring her back. Huntress.
Yes, either the original one or a new one. Sure, Let's do it. Let's do a Huntress show. Let's do a Birds of Prey show.
Oh, Birds of Prey show would be amazing. I kind of wish they were doing that instead of Arrow,
Green Arrow and Canaries. They should.
Yeah.
It might spin off to it. I mean, I could see it being Green Arrow alongside maybe the Birds of Prey. I mean, why not?
You're gonna need a new Canary though to be in Birds of Prey. I think at that point.
Oh. Well, there's so many.
I got two.
Well, okay, I guess not. If it's set in present time, still no. But I mean, like if the Green Arrow and the Canaries goes a bunch of seasons, and then are they still gonna be playing Black Canary for a third show? Like after all that, I guess is what I'm thinking.
I mean, it just matters. Do you got any other gigs coming up?
Okay, well, yes. Or if they're sick of playing the character or not.
Yeah. The big question with Arrow and Canaries is if it's set in the future or not, and I don't think they've quite clarified that yet.
I still think it's present. Because I want to say that I want to say I read somewhere that Mia doesn't want to go back to the future.
Yeah.
Well, it starts off with her in 2040. It's the synopsis says she's in 2040.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I could be right. I mean, I don't know. That's what I thought.
She might start there though, but then go to the present.
Yeah, I hope so because I don't think I want them to be in the. If you're gonna do that, then do Batman Beyond. That would be what they should do. But I don't think I'd rather her be in the present and stuff. I think that would be a lot more interesting. Plus, I don't think those Canary actresses want to put on old makeup every time they show up to work.
Unless they go to the future. They can always go to the future. If she can go to the past, they can go to the future.
I guess so.
The way they are now. But they're already in the future. Look, hey, that's going to cause a big problem.
Well,
remember
are
Time
they?
Cop, you can't occupy the same
They touch
space
each other and
with
it
your,
blows
or you all
everything up.
blow, you become a big blob and blow up.
I mean, everything's changed, right? Maybe not. Maybe they can go
Yeah,
to the
that's
future
true. You're right.
because Look, all I know is that I hope that the last 2 episodes of Arrow are just clip episodes.
No, all right. I want to talk about this. That's terrible. What you just said. That's the worst thing ever.
Remember that one time with Oliver?
Before we talk about that, because that's really important. Did you guys with the table and the whole Justice League thing at the end? Did you dig that? Did you like who they chose for the people who got all the seats at the table?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I think everyone was appropriate. Well, sort of. I would have loved to have seen like just randomly a seat for a Batman. That would have been kind of cool.
Well, he's gone right now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know any actual they haven't interacted with any Batman except the crazy one that Kate saw in the other universe.
Yeah, that's really.
Well, she knows the real one, of course, real Bruce, but.
Right, but Batman exists in Earth 1.
Yeah,
so
she
should
doesn't know where he is.
Right.
Gone 3 years.
But now, since Crisis happened, he could be here.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, Comics Fun Sticksboy73 just joined us. Super Geeked Up. Hey, thank you. Yes, this is the channel you're watching. Thank you for joining us. We're talking Crisis on Infinite Earths Arrowverse crossover.
All right. So
what I was
what do you
trying
want
to figure out though is I was trying to figure out which emblem was Supergirl's and Superman's on the chairs, and I think isn't Superman's the brighter one? Is that right? I was trying to look at their. This is what?
It's bigger.
Oh, because I was looking at their actual costumes and then trying to look at when they had the seats.
I think their S's are different too, right?
Are they a little bit different?
I think so.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
I think it is bigger. I don't know.
It's not that important. I was just wondering.
It's important, for the guy to be like, mine has got to be bigger, right?
No, but that's Superman. That Superman's really cool, man. He's.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult to. It's interesting. There's 2 super people and only 1 bat person. So.
And oh yeah. Well, because they know how to use because they're doing the Superman show, like you said.
Well, wait.
Hey,
go
and
on.
if Arrow goes to the present, maybe that Green Arrow will join the team. Well, there's a seat even for it, right?
There's a seat,
Technically?
yeah. There's a seat, yeah.
She just takes the seat that they can say for Oliver. That's perfect.
Yeah.
There's that 8th
Yes.
seat. That's great. Good job. Good call. Comics Fun in the chat says, "I like the crossover. Awesome. Good. I think all of us enjoyed it overall too."
Mm-hmm.
He says her S is thinner, and then Julie says his S is thick. Okay. Thanks.
Oh,
guys. Thank you.
okay.
Appreciate it. All right. Let's talk about Oliver.
All right.
Okay.
So, okay, we got real serious. So what did what did you guys think about what they did with Oliver in these last 2 parts, and the way the death scene and kind of just how they handled all that?
I don't understand what the point of Spectre was.
It was so he could help them through this whole thing and lead and guide them and be the one to defeat the Monitor and help them to defeat him in the end.
But they,
Yeah. It's in the comic books.
I was gonna say, but did they really need him? Like they seemed.
Well, when Ryan Choi can just punch things, maybe not. But
I don't know.
But I don't think they would have been able to
Humanity,
defeat the Monitor without him necessarily.
I would have loved to have seen the Spectre have a more active role, especially since he sacrificed his life to, make sure that Crisis ends well, right? Like he died.
He was the one though. He created the new universe and multiverse, right? And that wouldn't have happened without him.
Oh, I thought the Paragons made the new.
Well, yes, you're right. They fanned the flame, as the quote was. He opened it. He did the spark.
They stared at him
Which
intently.
is so stupid. I hated that part actually. We're just gonna stare at it. This is the big moment, folks. We're staring.
I expected like a heart and like a clover to blow.
Care Bear stare.
Yeah, just a Care Bear stare.
I would have loved that. Professor Coldheart shows up. He's the real Anti-Monitor. It's great.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
So the Paragons were not in the comic books, just so you know.
Oh, they weren't? Okay.
No, they were not.
So does he do it? Does he open in the comics? Does the Spectre create the new thing like on his own kind of?
So it's more convoluted than that. They have a bunch more heroes, whoever's left, and they're fighting. And while they're doing that, Spectre combines his power with all the different magic users of DC, to take out Antimatter and rebirth the universes and stuff. I believe, if I remember correctly. So.
Yeah, because there's a Spectre before Oliver.
Yeah,
Why couldn't
Jim
that
Corrigan.
Spectre?
Yeah, he sucked apparently.
Apparently.
Well, no, he was probably doing lots of great things. We just never saw it.
Yeah, some random. I wish it was someone you knew. Like, it would have been great to see. Like, who's Eddie Thawne? Like, Eddie Thawne was the old Spectre.
Yeah.
That'd have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Here's Rando. He's the old Spectre.
It was weird that this random guy showed up.
Yeah.
Unless, if you're a comics fan, I'm assuming that's the guy in the comics, right? Jim Corrigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Constantine had a version of him, like as before
the
Spectre.
show.
Yeah, because remember he makes the line go, "You're not the one that I know," and it's like, "Yeah, I'm a different one." So.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Constantine's there.
Yeah, that's one thing that was a missed opportunity I would like to see was if Spectre could do really powerful crap, and he also has a tendency to grow gigantic, like how Antimatter did in the end. And it would have been awesome to see him grow gigantic and trying to match power with Antimatter. I mean, there's some cool stuff that could have done with that.
That would have been great. Instead, it's just, I have natural voice modulation, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't have to use a device anymore. And his costume could have been tweaked a little bit better, too, I think. They could have made him more loosely. It was good, but I feel like there's just something missing. I can't tell you what. It just something was not quite.
I feel like he looked like the Green Arrow with a hood.
Yeah, he was very close to
Green
Green
Arrow. Has a
Arrow.
hood.
I mean, I guess a hood and a robe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, when you think of Spectre's he's got a green cloak and he's all white costume spandex or whatever.
Yeah.
Only that makes sense for superheroes. But it's like, they needed to tweak it a little bit because the color scheme is very similar, so it almost looks like a variation of Green Arrow's costume. So they need to make it more ghostly. Like, I don't know what they would have done exactly, but something was missing.
Well, they did make him look pale and gaunt, so
maybe they just need like an eye effect, or I don't know what it was.
Just green,
In the chat, Comics Are Fun says, "I'm confused as to being future. Is he coming back? I guess, does he mean Oliver? I guess we'll talk about that. I think he's dead." And then Listermay says, "I agree with Francis. I didn't get the point of Spectre. I thought Oliver was becoming the Spectre." Yeah, I think he means like that was going to be Oliver was going to kind of survive as the Spectre from this
as the Spectre as a character. Yeah,
some people were like thinking, right? Comics Are Funny that says the Care Bear stare, like you were saying, Francis, and then says Dr. Fate would have been a better pick. Scorpio says, "Love Dr. Fate." I love Dr. Fate too. Dr. Fate's awesome, man.
I think Dr. Fate would just,
They haven't had
Dr. Fate in some time. Smallville did Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
When Constantine had his own show, he had Dr. Fate's helmet in his house. He did.
Should hold that out.
That helmet is so awesome, man.
It's great.
It is a cool design. Yeah, I don't know, but is he dead? I mean, I think he's dead, but maybe he's still Spectre because it's really weird because the finale of last season Arrow, the Monitor took Felicity to go visit him wherever that was. She said, that's when she's like, "Peace out. I'm gonna go see him now." And now that doesn't necessarily make sense unless that's gonna get revisited. And we have 2 episodes left, right?
Yeah, we have 2 episodes left of Arrow. Right, that's the weird part.
I'm telling you, a clip episode.
No. I mean,
it's just Felicity reminiscing.
Let me get that in a minute.
And she's supposed to be in the last episode, I think.
Yeah, she's in the last episode.
I mean, I think they could just have her maybe visit him, in some, I don't know, mystical in between worlds form or something, or whatever, as the Spectre or whatever. I mean, who knows? But I mean, I like the way they handled, not the death from the first parts really, but this version of it. I think it worked, right? I mean, I actually liked him as the Spectre. I liked that he was just very knowledgeable now, and he was guiding the other team, and he was helping Barry find all the different versions of themselves, right? And he was kind of Yoda-esque in a way almost. I think it was great that he sacrificed himself to save everybody and create a whole new universe. That was a good way for Oliver.
Could you ever imagine that's how Arrow would have ended when it first started? It's like,
no,
he's totally gonna become a ghost Spectre being of godly power and gonna restart the whole multiverse. I mean, obviously, gosh, this totally foreshadowed that.
I'm gonna have to admit, I really hated that he said, "You have failed this universe."
That was not a great.
Because it should have been multiverse. I'm just saying.
That was not. I mean, I know obviously because that was his signature line, right? But it didn't really work for that thing.
No,
it didn't.
No,
I agree. But I still think overall, I like what they did. How they did it, how he sacrificed himself. I also liked the afterwards where they were paying respect to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the president had that big thing, but more importantly, the people who really cared about him. And that like last thing in the warehouse and Flash and then Sarah. And I actually like that they let Sarah have the last thing to say to him, because out of all those people right there, she's the one she's actually the one who's known him the longest probably out of anybody on any of these shows anymore, right?
That's true. Right.
So like that made sense, and how much it affected her, like that she lost him. Like I think Sarah actually, I think they did a lot of great stuff with Sarah in this crossover. Like this is some of the best stuff I think they've done for Sarah.
Well, some of that Felicity would have done, but we didn't have her, so
yeah. So
I like Sarah so much better though, so I'm fine with Sarah.
How angry would you be being Felicity and William and find out that Oliver dies and no one tells you for like a week, right? Because they don't know he's dead. Otherwise, they would have been there.
Well, we don't.
They found out when the president said.
Oh, that's true.
Well, no, we don't.
Oh,
we don't know what they're gonna do. We don't know how they're gonna tie the next episodes in. Like that maybe some of this was happening at the same time.
And they just couldn't make it out there with the ability to open portals between.
Well, again, it's mainly because the actress left the show and she probably only wanted to come back for the end, maybe, or something, or maybe that's just the way they wanted to do it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows what it was?
I don't know.
I imagine if she was on the show, they would have done something more with her. Yeah.
But I really like Sarah having the one to do. I mean, also, really, honestly, Diggle was probably the one who really also should have. That's the one thing I was sad that Diggle didn't get to.
It's like I missed every time he died. Oh, yeah.
That really sucks because I love actually how much and how often Diggle was like he was my brother, and that like just hits me, man, every time, like that they were brothers, and how important, and that those been the two since the beginning together, those two guys. So the only problem with him dying here is I hope they do something on Arrow itself, where the Arrow characters get to pay tribute.
It's gonna die again.
I don't know. That's the only problem. I don't know how they're gonna do this. And make it so respectful, right? Because I feel the Arrow people on Arrow itself are the ones who really need to be able to say goodbye to who should have been there when he died.
That's always the biggest challenge with these kind of crossovers, and it happens in the comic books all the time. Is like they feel like they need to kill someone off, but then if they die in this mega crossover, you feel like their storyline it was hijacked by a crossover and it ended abruptly. It feels like it doesn't feel right. So that's a bad thing about him dying this way. It didn't feel like that was a natural arc. It helped. The season helped, right? They prepped it, so that was nice. But that was the only bad thing. But I have no idea what they're going to do next 2 episodes, so I think they're...
I have a theory. My theory is he will appear as a Spectre. Like, the universe is saved. They do all that stuff. He'll come back with like whatever remaining energy he has left. That's why he's not going to be around for much longer. He says, I just need to say goodbye to you guys, for one last time. I need to see you all, because he didn't see Mia. He didn't see William. He didn't see Felicity. He didn't see anyone his family.
Yeah.
He didn't see any of his family, which is like, what? No. So they're going to give him that last episode where he gets to see them all. And then what he'll do at the very end is kill Felicity so Felicity can go with him and Felicity can live on forever.
Oh, come on. I was with you until that last part you just said. He's going to kill Felicity.
You've been wanting to kill her off forever, Jeff. So this should be
No, I did not say... Well, maybe I did say I wanted to kill her off at some point. Again, look, I'm saying I used to love Felicity. They just totally changed the character, and I feel they ruined it. So,
yeah.
I think they came back, I think, and she got a little bit better again, and I was okay with their relationship. I never think Felicity should happen. I don't think it needed to happen, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I know people love it, and that's great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It just wasn't for me. Really.
Felicity, fan favorite. I mean, it was tough because people fell in love with who she was, and they didn't know what she was going to become, which is the bad part.
I fell in love with her first couple seasons. Yeah, she was fantastic. But no, I don't want her to use him to kill her. Jesus. But I'm with you in terms of like him using maybe some remaining energy to appear to them. That's
cool. Totally going to happen. I think
because I really want him to be able to say goodbye to him. I feel cheated if that doesn't happen, right?
Right.
Like, why does freaking Black Lightning get to be like there and say like, okay, then the other? I mean, he wasn't there in the actual death, but like in the last scene, or other people who don't know him that well. I mean, even Kara doesn't know him that well, really, right? Compared to the people who spend their lives with him.
There's going to be a monument because the only monument exists in Central City and not Star City. So there's going to be an Arrow monument, a Green Arrow monument, just like they have a Black Canary monument.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have a Green Arrow monument. They'll have him speak. I'm certain Speedy will come back. Like, all of those characters will come back for one last goodbye.
I hope so.
I think they have to, right? Like,
you would think so. I'm just a little scared how they're gonna, because basically they've already killed them all. Exactly how they're gonna do it, but
well, they've been appearing along, right? So that may have been their way of having him say goodbye. I don't know.
They've been in what? Oh, the other episode, you mean?
Yeah, in the past episodes, right? So
yeah, it still doesn't feel right though if they don't do it. Goodbye.
No. Hopefully they will. I'm sure.
I don't know why they need 2 episodes though to do it. Like maybe unless the one episode really is just going to be the backdoor pilot.
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is 100% the backdoor pilot. Yeah.
All right. Not really needed, but I'm already sold on the show. But in the show, well, Jalou had said, "Well, life is random and sucks that way, and it just ends abruptly all the time." Well,
yeah,
it's true.
I mean, that's kind of true. Yeah.
Comics Are Fun says someone on that show will take up his mantle, like his daughter, and be Green Arrow. Well, yeah, like we actually know that's 100% going to happen because of Green Arrow and the Canaries show, which is going to happen. That Mia is going to become the Green Arrow, which I think is great. Scorpio says, totally feel in the Oliver comments, without enough people from his own show, it feels like he died alone.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah and Barry were the ones that the most felt appropriate to me, right? That they had, Sarah's been with so long. Obviously, Barry had a really strong friendship and connection with him. And I did like the moments where he was like, do you trust me? He's like, with every cell in my body, right? Like how much the bond was between them.
Well, yeah, he was Arrow was his mentor forever. Oliver was his mentor for his whole first year. So,
but outside of those two, like the other characters really either barely know him at all, or don't really have that much of a bond.
Him and Lex Luthor, like that.
Yeah, they're so tight.
I think Supergirl, though. I think
Supergirl, yes, she knows him decently now, right?
Yeah, I mean they've been in 4 crossovers. I think by now they know each other all right.
Yeah. I mean,
but they've never sang together. Sang and danced.
No, they did not.
they can't do this though next year. They can't do another crossover like this.
Well, I think they said they're going to do.
I'm sure, right?
I think they're going to do smaller crossovers.
Yeah,
at least
smaller ones. Yeah,
which makes sense.
I mean, like no huge one. You're saying?
But I read somewhere that they said they're going to have a smaller crossover. I don't know if it's going to be all together or separate ones.
I much
or
preferred it, as I've always said, like where they just do these every so often an episode where just whatever 1 or 2 characters comes over.
Yeah, like the musical episode was great, right?
Those have been the best crossovers as far as I'm concerned. The ones that are not these epic ones.
Yeah,
and I think that that's the reason why they said this is now time for Crisis. Let's bring it all together so we can do the smaller crossovers throughout the season, as opposed to saying, "Hey, here's the mid-season finale. It's a gigantic crossover." Don't have to do it.
Yeah, they don't have to go a different Earth and stuff. What I would do if I was them is next season smaller crossovers, like and highlight those big time with different shows, and then and seed that with like Darkseid or something, and then the next season after that maybe do a Darkseid crossover with Justice League kind of thing.
Yeah,
maybe like that.
Oh, you think they might bring in Darkseid? Yeah, they never have so far, right?
He's one of the only villains they haven't really used that could be powerful enough for that. Yeah.
I mean, he's probably like the most powerful DC villain, right? Just about
one of the most powerful.
One of the most, at least,
yeah.
So are you like? I mean, I know we got 2 more episodes of Arrow, but like, based on what we've seen so far, like, I guess, are you kind of satisfied with how Arrow ended, more or less, so far? Are you satisfied? I mean, without knowing exactly the last 2 episodes, but.
Well, I'm glad they kind of corrected his first death. Like, that was nice.
Yeah, and that's we talked about that last time, right? We're like, that was kind of weird, and now we know why, because they were building. The big buildup was for his real death, not the first death.
Right. But I mean, otherwise, I think they brought almost everyone back, more or less. Actually, I don't really know who they were missing.
Deathstroke was the big one. I really wanted Manu Bennett to come back. That's the one. That's the only one I really missed.
Yeah. Right, because that's pretty much it. Yeah, and they didn't show Shadow, but that's fine.
Shadow, yeah, that would have been nice.
But otherwise, you're right. Yeah, I think he got one last adventure with pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing final season. They really did it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, they're missing Damien Dark.
No, good. Thank God. Fucking Damien Dark.
He's great in Legends. He was
Keep
great.
him over on Legends.
And his daughter's great too.
I love Nora Dark.
Yeah.
And of course, now we're not going to get her though because they're getting rid of those characters.
Well, they could be around for a little bit in Legends before.
A little bit, yeah, but not that much longer.
No,
It sucks. They haven't even used Nora Dark that much, and they're like, "Oh, we're already out of ideas." What?
I don't think it was that they were out of ideas. I think they just want to move on to do something.
I don't know. I thought what I've been reading is that they still that storyline is just complete. They've done what they wanted to do, I guess, right? And they want to just
right. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
so
whatever.
you're right. Maybe it's not out of ideas. I guess they just don't want to tell stories with those characters anymore. I guess
Exactly. Yeah. They just don't want to.
But I bet you Brandon probably is open to at least taking a break for a little while because he's been around for a long time. He's been.
Well, he's one of the original. Well, even before originals, he was on Arrow. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Arrow before. So.
I mean, now Sarah and Mick Roy are the only ones from the originals left on Legends. After Brandon leaves, after he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. That's kind of weird.
Also think of Arrow. Oliver and Diggle, right, were the only ones who have been on from the beginning.
And Laurel.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Laurel was there from the very, and she's always been on his side. I feel there was a season. Was there a season without Laurel at all, though, or no? Or have we always seen some version of her? You think? Yes.
We did take a break for a little while.
I thought we had at least a season. I think we had a season without her, right? At least.
I think it was half season. I don't even think it was a full season.
If you guys know in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, because the first appearance of Black Siren was actually on Flash.
Right.
And.
But after that one Flash episode, she immediately went to Arrow. They did not waste time putting Laurel back into the Arrow.
I must really like that actress. I must be like, yeah, we got to put her back.
Well, Black Siren is a much better she's been the best version of that character, I think, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Listeners May says Damien Dark, at least the actor who plays him, is now on Project Blue Book on the History Channel. He says, "All right."
All right.
I don't know what that is, but cool. I like Neil McDonough, right? Is his name? Yeah.
Neil McDonough, yeah.
I like it. He's good. Comics Are Fun says the event was just a way to get all the characters on the same planet. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Mentioned that earlier. And then he says, let's talk about those end of show teasers. So he might, because he joined us later.
I haven't seen any of the teasers for the next episodes.
Oh, is that what you mean? Like the next episodes?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I guess Mark, you talked about some of them already, right? Like
Flash. Yeah. And Legends, I saw Legends too.
What is the Legends teaser?
I guess like evil people from hell are loose and they gotta like fight them. But
so it's like
something
a Constantine focus thing.
If I got it correctly, yeah, from the trailer. But there's gonna be. They act like there's some craziness happening with the whole crisis stuff too. I can't remember what they said. It was very fast paced and it was just crazy fun kind of thing. So you didn't get a lot of real.
As Legends is.
Yeah.
As Legends is. Oh yeah.
Comics for Fun says no. I mean like Green Lantern. Okay, so I think he or she missed.
Oh.
When we were talking. We talked about this a little earlier. I think you came in later. Yes, we talked about all those like the multiverses we saw at the end is what Comics for Fun is talking about. It says and Lois and Clark. Oh well because.
The omission
like the new one, I guess, right?
Probably Superman and Lois TV show.
Is this gonna be called Superman and Lois?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he said he gets a call from Lois at the end.
Our son
says like two. Well, wait.
Oh yeah, kids. Yeah.
Oh wait, because before they only had one kid, right?
No, before she was pregnant, she didn't actually have the kid.
No, they did because they shot off in the rocket. Remember?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh. You're right. Yeah.
But so now now they actually have like I guess at least two or maybe more based on the new.
Are those the Wonder Twins?
They have 6 kids.
No, those the Wonder Twins. That'd be great. He's an alien, yeah. So
yeah.
Well, it's interesting because the casting notices and stuff for the show talked like they were 2 kids, and they make it sound like they're teenagers. So everybody's like, "What's going on?" I don't understand. Like, did they age? There's two now. Some people thought one of them was Damien. Batman's Damien. So it'll be interesting to see.
God, that kid's the worst. Oh, I'm gonna throw up hearing Damien.
Here's the thing, though.
Oh, it's worse than Damien Dark.
Superman seemed surprised when she said that, right?
Yeah, that was a plot.
Because had Superman maybe Jean didn't do his thing to him yet?
Well, even if he didn't, it wouldn't matter. He was rebooted in that world, right?
Oh wait, he wasn't a Paragon, was he?
Yeah,
so he wouldn't have. Yeah, he shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I know.
But he acted surprised in that scene.
He did. So maybe they messed up.
Well, when you had left for a second, Marx and I were talking about how they had filmed Reverse Flash being in the Crisis.
Is that they did, but they never used it?
Never used it. Yeah, because they actually had on-set photos of
which Kavanaugh's Reverse Flash.
Yeah, in Reverse Flash clothing in the suit. But I guess they just didn't end up using it. So I mean, maybe there's something that they didn't end up using that we would have explained why he's like, maybe
they could have stuck him in. Where I would have stuck him in at is whenever Luthor turned on him on the planet, and then at the same time we have the Speed Force stuff going on, right? I would have stuck Reverse Flash and Speed Force and caused complication there for Barry to try to find that stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Because the Reverse Flash could have potentially survived by hiding Speed Force, maybe.
Oh, look, if you're saying that, then my theory about Ezra Miller fits, because I said he was.
Well, that has to be. Otherwise, there's no.
And that's how he survived. See, there you go.
There's just like a bunch. All the Flashes went there. They're just hiding.
Yeah, they're all just in the Speed Force, man.
But yeah, because it was weird. I was waiting for Reverse Flash because they every clue was he was going to be part of it, right? And so I even thought maybe he tapped into like antimatter Speed Force or something. But oh well, whatever.
That's fine. Again, they're putting in literally a season's worth of stuff in 5 episodes.
I know it's crazy. So much.
It's just not going to fit at all.
That's weird though. If they make them teenage, that makes no sense. If they're teenage kids, that's so weird though.
Yeah, I mean maybe young teenage, like adolescent or young teenagers.
Still so weird though, because they just like had a baby. As
just
the way we know it. Yeah.
Well, because
they're not that old. Well, I mean, I guess they're supposed to be in their maybe early 30s. Those characters now.
Mid to late 30s for those guys.
You think so? No, they're not that.
Because how long was Clark there? Or no, how long was it?
Well, how more experienced Superman
before Supergirl came down, right? Because he was Superman for a while.
True, but not.
Now Supergirl's been Supergirl for 4 or  5 years or something.
Yeah. This is her 5th season, right?
So even let's just say it's been like 10 years. He could easily be 38.
I don't think he's that old.
I think he's at least in his 30s.
I think he's early 30s is supposed to be.
Okay.
Well, I mean, by Earth years, right? I mean, who knows how Krypton years work, but.
Kryptonians age well.
Yeah.
Well, Kryptonians are supposed to age slowly.
Yeah, that's true. He's actually like 100, and Lois just like 20 something, and it's like a Twilight thing.
Yeah. No one's gonna raise an eyebrow with that 80-year difference.
Twilight, vampires do it all the time. They're like, you know what? Now that I'm 100 and something, I think this teenage girl is definitely intellectually, and equal to me.
World is perfect for me.
I feel like we have so much in common.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, I was trying to read the chat. What?
I'm sorry.
What 80-year-old is going against a teenager?
Okay. Because you mean
the Twilight? You mean the vampires?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's a constant thing? Vampires, right? Even with say Buffy, Angel and Spike are way older than her, right?
Oh, that's right. Angel's like
she's a high schooler when it starts.
Yeah, it's a common thing. Like these old vampires.
It's gross.
Pop in.
You're right. It's gross.
With teenage girls, and they're like, you know what? I'm totally in love with you. We have so much in common.
But here's the thing, though. What's the likelihood of a 200-year-old vampire finding another 200-year-old vampire to be like, yeah?
Well, but in those universes, there's vampires all over the place. Spike had Drusilla.
Yeah, that's true.
But even think, you don't have to find a 200-year-old vampire. Just find like a 35-year-old woman.
Yeah.
But if you look 17,
at least someone out of high school. I'm just saying.
But Angel and Spike did not look. They're not. They were adults.
No, but I mean, like
particularly Spike. Spike was definitely a grown.
Oh, Spike was an adult. So was Borealis. He was an adult. But I'm thinking if you like an Interview with a Vampire, right? the little girl stays a little girl forever. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well,
She's
that
stuck.
sucks. For her, that sucks.
Yeah. She has to grow. So anyway, I don't know why we're talking about this.
I don't know.
This is important stuff, man.
This ties into Superman.
Marx
and
brings up
children.
the most important topics of the day.
It's all because I said Kryptonians age slower. It's just, man. Bring crypto. Bring in crypto. That's all I want.
Have crisis of infinite tangents.
In the chat, Julu says, Lois and Clark, the height of Terry Hatcher, who was also in a Next Generation episode in a minor role as a transporter technician.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody.
Hatcher was everywhere for like a long.
She
For a
was
while.
in Seinfeld. Yeah, she was everywhere.
Mhm.
That's the only Superman I wish Dean Cain and her as Lois would have been really nice to see.
Yeah, because they've both been in Supergirl.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a political thing.
I
think that's
being serious.
I think I'm being serious because he's a big Trump supporter. So I don't think they will. I think they cut
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, yeah.
But I mean, no, that doesn't make any sense. They used him forever in the first.
Well, yeah, but then they stopped. Notice how her dad became a non-issue, like really quick.
But why would they have used him in the first place if that was the case?
Oh well, because I don't think it was. I mean, that was like what, 15, but pre.
You're talking about 3-4 years ago. That's right around when he was getting elected.
Exactly,
running for
pre-election.
No,
Now
it doesn't matter. He still would have been a Trump supporter at the time.
Yeah. I think it's
I
just
don't
because.
think so. Like, I know that show's super liberal political, but I would really
Maybe
like
he
to
said something really vocal, and
I would really like to think that should not have any bearing on how they hire people. It should 100% not.
No, you're 100% right. It shouldn't, but it does.
I honestly think it's just more like they just didn't know what to do. They didn't really want to go forward with that storyline, so they just dropped it.
Well, I know why they didn't do Terry Hatcher. Well, they could have, right? Terry Hatcher. It doesn't matter.
Terry Hatcher's character dies.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. She's a different universe.
Yeah,
Lois.
no, she could have came back as Lois in this for sure.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Dean as a Superman version in this Crisis too. That would have been great.
Maybe Dean has a dad bod, and so he wouldn't have fit in the suit.
Well, it's like it could have been like Thor, Thor dude one. Could have been a version of him like that, and he's just like a big old belly. Fits on his.
Those actors look good still in him. I think.
They probably do. I don't think Dean Cain's gotten that out of shape.
Like John Wesley Shipp, and I love John Wesley Shipp, but I mean, it's not like he looks the same as he did back in the 90s, right?
Yeah. The suit gives him muscles.
No, I think that dude works out.
Well, I think he looked good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I think Dean Cain could still look good in a suit, no problem.
I'm sure, probably. I haven't really seen him lately. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not staring at Dean Cain photos. I'm like, I don't know, but
he's gonna Google Dean Cain. Dean Cain shirtless.
Dean Cain naked.
Anyway,
comics. Yeah, another tangent. Not totally.
No,
that was on point.
So I looked him up. He looks like Superman still. Like he still has.
There you go. See, I got
chin
Team Gan. I got your back, buddy. Come on our show now. Okay. Julie says the little girl in Interview of Vampire is the same actress who played what's her name in Spider-Man, Kirsten Dunst.
Oh yeah, Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane Watson. Yeah.
And Comics for Fun says I heard Mark Hamill was returning as Trickster for Crisis, but also not sure if anything was filmed. Do you guys hear anything about that?
Yeah, he's supposed to return as Trickster in
Flash coming up.
In Flash, I believe. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I think so. I think he just planned to come back for like a little cameo.
Okay, we haven't seen him in a long time as in the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have also been rumors about Wonder Woman reappearing in Crisis. Yeah, and she didn't reappear.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it would have been great if she was the president.
She's not the president.
That would be so cool if she made that speech. That would have been great. Because this president, I guess, what have we seen? One other time or something? Like, I barely know who this is.
She got ousted, right, last season on Supergirl because she's an alien.
Outed as an alien, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But since it's been rebooted, we could say she's the president now again. Look, if you reboot all this other stuff, why not, right?
She's expensive.
I don't think so.
People were hoping she was going to be Wonder Woman.
That would have.
Oh, you're right. That would have been the best if she was Wonder Woman.
I would have loved to have seen more of that. More of the Trinity, right, or the original.
Yeah, the Trinity. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
They made a comic series called the Trinity.
Or maybe even like an Aquaman, like their own version of Aquaman. It would have been nice to kind of see.
Oh man, if Momoa was in there.
You would do it.
Oh yeah. Or if they got the guy who did the Smallville spin-off pilot that never got picked up, that if they had.
Oh yeah, that dude. That dude still works out. Totally, that guy still works out. I mean, he's probably like
Is that the guy who played Green Arrow?
Yeah, I
in
was just saying,
Smallville?
was that Justin? What's his face? What it actually was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Like Arrow, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So you were talking about him as Green Arrow would have been cool in the Crisis.
Yeah. Yeah, they need Aquaman, and they needed. I can see why they wouldn't have Wonder Woman, but.
Although Legends has mentioned Themyscira when they had the Helena Troy one, so it's not like they
could always do like Wonder Girl, and just sidestep it.
Kid Flash, things like that.
Listen, man, since Ezra Miller's in it, dude, let's get to Gal Gadot, man. Let's get Gal Gadot to fucking be in it.
Okay, Ezra Miller is cheap. Gal Gadot.
No, I like how you're putting all these price tags on people. Melinda Carter is super expensive, and Ezra Miller's really cheap.
It's part of the thing,
I mean, it's unfortunate, but that is, they have to budget for it properly, right? Like, it's unfortunate. It's just a part of the
thing. Ezra Miller may not have. He may have just done it for free, for all we know, because it was a last minute thing, possibly, right? Or I don't know. Yeah. Who knows what happened, right?
It's probably.
But he also doesn't have his own movie. Like, he doesn't have his own movie yet.
I'm just saying, look, if they really want it, if Gal Gadot wants to do it, they could do it, right? If she wants to do it, they would do it.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do
it. Stop putting all these words in people's mouths. You don't know. I'm sure they wouldn't even approach her about it, right? That wasn't even obviously a consideration at this time.
Ezra, from what I gathered from San Diego Comic-Con, all that stuff, he seems like to be an uber fan.
Oh,
like he's all in, 100%. So I think that plays a big role.
That's why I believe he totally was on board. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, he probably. I mean, I wouldn't even put it past him if he's like he heard about this in the works and he like made some phone calls and was like, "Man, can I be in this? Can I be in this?" And then somebody was like, "Well, I guess we could try to make it happen and stuff." And I could see that happening because I could see him be wanting to be in it, be involved in it if it's possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, now that he's done it, I want to see more movie people make cameos.
I think it'd be tough.
I'm not saying it's going to happen a lot. I'm saying I would love to see it.
You got the one police detective dude from Tim Burton Batman universe. Come on, what more do you want?
Wait, was that actually the guy who played a detective?
Yeah, that's right. He did.
In the 89 movie?
Yeah.
Was it Bullock or was it somebody else? Did he play Bullock?
No, I don't think. I thought it was, but it's not. Like Knox or something. I always thought he was Bullock, I guess, but I guess not. Maybe Bullock didn't exist yet or whatever. But
yeah, just I don't know. I mean, more crossover with the movies and kind of combining those worlds, I think, would actually benefit DC a lot. Because I mean, the TV shows have a huge positive reputation. The movies, not so much. And so they can.
I think this is.
Well, some of them, like I like those movies a lot. Most of those movies, and some of them do have really good reputations. Obviously, like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Actually, more lately, Aquaman, Shazam. They both had good word of mouth.
Those were the three movies. Yeah, exactly.
I actually love Justice League too. I know that was kind of a dividing one, but.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're like in on it. Yeah.
It was better than Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. No, I love Justice League, man.
I think.
You know what's amazing though? That like people are still clamoring for the
Snyder cut.
Zack Snyder cut, including the actors. Which shows you though that people enjoy that or are into that movie.
Well, they want the Abrams cut of the Rise of Skywalker. So like,
wait, already? It just came out.
I know, but yeah, because apparently he has like a 6-hour version of the Rise of Skywalker, and they want the J.J. Abrams director's cut or whatever. It's like, come on, guys, it's just not going to happen. Just relax.
That'd be wild. I can't imagine cutting like over half your movie. That'd be weird. It must be just a lot of people like Star Wars, like people just staring out in space thinking.
Wait, you're saying supposedly half the movie got cut?
What, didn't you say 6 hours?
Yeah, I think it was like a 6-hour cut or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So no, there's no way Abrams made a 6-hour cut.
No. I mean, it doesn't exist, but I think there's 6 hours of there's 6 hours of footage to be a 6-hour movie. They had it.
Oh well, look, everybody shoots more footage than you ever use. That's just every movie does that.
Right, but the cut for, I guess the rumor is that J.J. Abrams had a cut that he wanted to use that was fairly longer that they didn't end up using because Disney wanted to cut it up. to make it fit like
They
a
would
certain
have to
era.
have released that in 2 or 3 movies if they did that.
Oh, sure, yeah, but they're not going
Maybe
to.
just let's just do 9, 10, 11, guys.
Well, yeah, just like the Justice League cut, the Snyder cut is
What's
like
this-
6 hours long or
It's
something like
supposed to be
that.
what, 4 hours long?
Something like 4 hours
I
long.
don't
Yeah,
know, maybe 3.
still, I mean, it's supposed to be a longer movie though, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to have all this other stuff. But I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
Comics Are Fun says Ezra Miller as Flash needs to stay relevant if they still want to do a standalone movie. I mean, that
Yeah.
does, I think, help actually putting him in the cameo to, like, if they wanted to keep him in people's minds, sure.
Yeah.
Scorpio says, we just want more because Rise of Skywalker was so brilliant. Okay. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hearing a lot of, again,
Yeah.
different
I'm
things
gonna
about
watch
this.
it. I'm gonna watch it Sunday.
I'm hearing a lot of people really like it. Some people are saying it's okay, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, all these recent ones seem to be pretty divisive.
Yeah, it's just.
I just think they all stink, but I can't comment on the last one actually because I haven't seen it. But
Did you watch it, Francis?
Mandalorian's great.
I like that.
Mandalorian. Watch the Mandalorian.
Liked
All
it.
right.
Yeah, Mandalorian was awesome.
I thought Mandalorian was fantastic. I like. Well, Mandalorian I think is better than Rise of Skywalker, but I did like Rise of Skywalker
Cool.
enough to watch it twice.
Oh,
Unfortunately, the person I went with the second time hated it. So,
they
to each their
let you
own.
know it during the whole time. You're like, rah,
Oh,
rah.
they continue to remind me how much they hate it.
See, that's bad though
Is
because
this
they
the
came in
person
with
I
this.
saw last week with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
See, that-
no, they came in with the intention of liking the movie and with all intentions of loving it, and they came out just hating it.
Oh boy.
Every fiber of their being. So it's to each their own. Everyone had a different
Yeah,
experience with this
absolutely.
movie because it's just the end of a saga. What are you gonna do, right? Like if they, like I'm certain this Crisis on Infinite Earths.
They should have created a new multiverse. Is what they should have done at the end of Star. I'm just kidding. They should have had the Spectre in it, and
He does look like a Sith Lord.
He does look. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
oh yeah, you're right. Oh, and even Ryan Choi, the character, says something about very Sith about
Yes.
Arrow. You're right.
Wait a minute.
Duluth says, haha, it stinks, channeling Lovett's critic. Oh, did John Lovitz play some like Saturday Night Live critic or something? I guess is that what he's referencing?
There was a cartoon called The Critic, and Lovitz was
Oh.
the main character.
John Lovitz was the.
Yeah.
I guess he said it stinks. Thanks. Okay, I didn't know that.
It stinks. Yeah,
Julie also says BAS was the birthplace of so many great characters. Do you know what that stands for?
Batman the Animated Series.
Oh
was
yes.
the place for something.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Well, Harley Quinn got created there.
Yeah. Was
That's a great show.
police detective dude that we just talked about?
Harvey Bullock.
Bullock?
Yeah, was Bullock created on that? He was
I
on
think
it.
Yeah, because Bullock wasn't, and I don't remember Bullock being anywhere else, and I think Bullock
Oh, well,
was.
that's true that he wouldn't have been in the movie, I guess.
Yeah,
because that was before.
That's why I'm wondering. Maybe Knox was an influence for Bullock. Who knows? I don't know. But
Maybe.
yeah, Renee Montoya, was she in?
Montoya. She's in the animated series. I
Mhm.
don't know if she was created there though.
She wasn't.
I don't know.
No.
She was before that, right? She was around.
Yeah,
before
she
that.
was a comic book character.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Harley's the big one, I think. From
Harley's the biggest one, yeah. You're not wrong. Harley.
mean-
most
no.
of the other ones obviously already existed. Never
They
really
created
showed.
Baby Doll too, right? Or was that her name?
Yes, yeah, baby, the girl that never aged.
Yeah.
Oh, like
So-
like Kirsten Dunst in Interview with the Vampire.
Like the vampire. I like the
Toulouse
back around
says
things.
Bullock as well as Martinez. Who's Martinez? Was created in the show.
Martinez is another.
Another
I think
cop?
she's also a female cop, female detective.
Oh, all right, cool.
Okay. Interesting.
Are we to say about Crisis?
Yes. No, let's go on some more tangents. Oh, so sorry, Martinez is a typo.
oh, she maybe
Unless
meant
they meant
Montoya.
Montoya, but you're saying Montoya was definitely around before.
Yeah, my understanding was yeah. They had a GCPD comic book before. What was that?
GCPD is fairly more recent.
Yeah,
Was-
I
was
don't think that was
yeah.
before.
That's not that long. That was like somewhere in the 2000s.
That was an influence for Gotham, I think.
Oh,
Oh, was it? I mean, Montoya is definitely in that comic.
Because I think they're originally going to make a TV show of that, and then they couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Then I think they just changed the twist so they could make Gotham because I guess they didn't whatever.
That probably would have been better if they just did a GCPD show.
Maybe. Might have been.
I would have loved to have seen Vanessa Hudgens appear in this Crisis of Infinite Earths because she was a part of a show called. What was it called?
High School
it was
Musical. Yeah, good.
No. There was a show based on the people who fixed everything that the DC heroes broke.
Oh.
So they would rebuild buildings. They would
Yep.
What was it called? It was a short-lived.
I know what you mean though.
Just what
Super
a weird.
short-lived. It was like a Hulu show or something, right? Or maybe.
Well, no, it was a
network show. Yeah.
It was NBC. Yeah, it was NBC.
Yes, okay.
And I was just like, how funny would that? Now that would have been just the weirdest callback, but I would have loved it.
Oh, Marx didn't like that. He was like, "Screw you," and you're.
Yeah, what's up with that? Did you remember his Damage Control or whatever the name was?
No, Damage Control is Marvel.
Oh, it's Marvel, isn't it? Never mind. Oh yeah, they had a TV show, right? Yeah. Live action TV show that didn't last. I never watched it, but yeah.
What's funny is I liked that show. I thought it was actually pretty funny.
Was it funny?
I thought it was because it was they didn't not refrain from saying the names Batman, Superman, Aquaman. Like they said all of the characters' names and what they did, and the scenarios are funny. Like they had to clean up an aquarium because of Aquaman for some reason or whatever. It's just weird little stuff like that. And it's just
Comics are Fun also says Damage Control ? But you're saying that's not what I'm saying.
That is.
That's
yeah, you're right. It's Marvel. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I think that was too niche for broadcast television. It would have been perfect for DC streaming channel, though. That would have been good for them.
Oh, yeah. Comics for Fun says Tidek. How do you say his name?
Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. Tudyk. That's right. Tudyk.
Bruce Wayne's cousin.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I think I watched a little bit of the pilot, actually. It's starting to remind me.
Yeah. He had all of these terrible ideas, but he was like, my cousin Bruce. I never see him in he would make those weird observations, but it was, I liked it. I thought it was actually pretty funny.
Man, I wonder if that's playing anywhere. I wonder if that's on any platform.
It'll be on the Peacock probably when it debuts their new streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I probably will get the Peacock. I'll get the $5 advertising one probably. Try it out.
Oh, it's going to be that cheap, huh?
Yeah, there's going to be a free one that's got very limited stuff, and then there's a $5 one that's going to have ads, and then there's a $10 one with no ads, I think is what it's supposed to be.
Powerless. Sorry, Powerless is the name of the show.
Powerless, yes.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that's anywhere to watch. Hopefully.
Well, speaking of Powerless, Jalewis said a Gotham City PD show would be so neutered, though. If they were so good, why would there be so much corruption? And they would constantly be getting their butts handed to them, getting all the complaints from the ravaged populace, but always getting shut up by Batman or some visiting superhero. Well, maybe it would look at non-super villain crime, possibly, or something.
Yeah. 2B TV is the name of the website that has Powerless showing on their full season of Powerless showing. TubiTV.com if you want to see it streamed for free.
Oh, okay. I'll get that. Put that on my Roku.
Thank you, Comics Are Funny. He just also said the show is Powerless. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll have to check it out because I kind of missed that when it came out.
I liked it.
Super big now.
I actually laughed. I laughed in that show. Anyway,
the last thing in the chat is listener made ask: is anybody ever considered using Tara Reid, who plays Harley Quinn, does the Harley Quinn voice, or from the Batman the Animated Series, putting her in any of the shows?
Nah.
I don't know. That'd be cool. He's nah. Forget it. I mean, they put Kevin Conroy, so obviously that's nice that they used, at least.
They're never, because unfortunately, and this is, one of the.
She like Trump too? Is that what you're gonna say?
No. She's too old. She's too old. They're not gonna put her in because she's too old.
Well, she doesn't have to be Harley necessarily.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, sure.
She could be someone else.
Yeah, it should. They should have all those voice actors make appearances.
She was the first one to play Harley. Then that means because she did the animated series.
It wasn't Tara Strong. It was
wait, Tara Strong. That's correct. He said Tara Reid, but I think he meant Tara Reid.
Oh, yeah, Tara Strong, right. Yeah.
Tara Strong, right? That's who does. Yes.
Tara Strong. Yeah, she should be on there. She should be everywhere. Really, she should be she should be in front of a camera.
She should.
Yeah. Like I don't know why she's not. It just like amazes me that she's not in front
Maybe
of the
she's shy. I don't know.
Maybe.
Listener Bay said, "Arg, Marx is taking over the web stream." Yeah, Marx, you had jumped really big and you were on the host screen.
Oh, was I?
That's all right. I fixed it.
I was the anti-monitor.
Yes. He's taking control. That was kind of weird too, by the way. That Oliver sacrificed himself and supposedly he was defeated, but then the anti-monitor just shows up again on the new Earth.
I know.
Yeah,
I was like, well, what was the point? And why do these goddamn stupid shadow things keep showing up? They're so stupid and they're so easily to defeat.
Yeah, it's all in the comic books that it's like that. They beat him over and over again. And he all he had was those shadow demons, and he also had thunderers. There was like his version of the Green Lanterns that were like they look like Roman soldier warrior people with like lightning bolts that they hold and throw or shoot or something. He's kind of dated for its time. Not dated for its time, but dated for now.
Yeah, I got you. Jalou says Tara Strong is not shy. All right, so I guess seen some interviews or something.
Okay, well, she needs to be
Yeah,
Harley
let's do
Quinn.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
Comics for Fun says
Whoa.
Karen. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. It just occurred to me. But what the actress who plays Harley in the animated
Robbie?
series. No, in an animated series, she could be a live action Harley.
Oh, the new series.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's
From
that? That's
from
not
Big
Tara
Bang
Strong,
Theory.
right?
No,
it's the girl from Big Bang. The which one?
Kaylee Cuoco.
yeah.
She's the voice of Harley Quinn.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Good for her.
She does a pretty good job. She doesn't play up that like Bostonish accent. She doesn't do that, but her personality, she captures her personality well.
She doesn't have affect an accent. That's too bad.
No, she doesn't do like
Mr.
Yeah.
Jay.
Which I have to say, when I watched the trailer to Birds of Prey, I felt like, I mean, I understand why she had that accent, but it also felt little. It sounded weird to me a little bit. I don't know.
Wait,
Because it was subtle in Suicide Squad, and then now she's just overdoing it for some
you're
reason.
saying Margot Robbie's doing a bigger accent now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she wanted to do that. Okay. I guess her character in Wolf on Wall Street had a bit of a Boston accent too. I guess.
So you think Harley is a Boston accent? I've never thought of it as a Boston accent.
Or no, is it Boston or
maybe a New York accent, like a. Your
I
upper
guess
state.
maybe. I guess I just thought it's her own unique accent. I guess I just always thought of it as
Boston.
Well,
It's the same Boston, yeah.
I looked it up.
Be a little Boston. I guess it's a little Boston-y, huh?
I think it's a Boston accent that was more popular back after the '90s. It kind of went away. Like it's rarer now than it used to be.
It's that rare Boston accent that only existed for 10 years.
I looked it up yesterday after I saw it. I was like, what is her accent supposed to be? Because she does have an accent, kind of an accent in the animated series, right? In the original Batman animated series, Mr. J, stuff like that. She's
J.
Yeah, she has her own very specific way of speaking.
Yeah.
So apparently Margot Robbie was trying to go for a Brooklyn tinge.
Oh, Brooklyn. That's what I would say.
The Brooklyn.
Folks, if you want to hear the best Harley Quinn ever, watch this season finale of Super Geeked Up from Wednesday when I do it. You're not going to get any better.
Oh, yeah. Can you do it right now? Do it, Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. J. That wasn't the best. I could do better. Sorry.
That's about as good as my Alec Guinness, so that's all right.
All right. That's better than your Obi-Wan. All right, give us your Obi-Wan.
Hello, Mr. J.
Converse Run says Karen Gillan from Doctor Who and Guardians Nebula has expressed interest in doing a Batgirl movie. Thoughts?
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, she'd be great.
She would be great.
Mm-hmm. I just recently watched the Jumanji: The Next Level, and yeah, I mean, she's got the.
Oh yeah, she's in there. You're right, she's in that.
Yeah, she has like a fight scene, and I'm like, oh yeah. Now that that's been brought up, I'm like, that's a total Batgirl fight scene right there. She could totally do the part.
I haven't seen the new one, but she had a great fight scene in the original one.
She did, yeah. No, she has a little bit longer one in this one.
Cool, nice.
But it's good. If anyone's interested in wondering if the sequel is as good as the first one, it's pretty much almost there. Like, it's pretty good. It's a really fun ride to watch. So
Cool.
Nice.
watch it.
Yeah, I want to see that for sure. I love the first, the recent one. You know,
I love all the Rock movies.
Mm.
Anything Rock's in, just about.
Rock's good. Rock's like the modern day Schwarzenegger, right, pretty much.
Yeah, he is.
Schwarzenegger, no.
What?
Rock has range.
Oh, you're Disney Schwarzenegger. How dare you?
Oh,
The Rock
No,
has
what I'm
actual.
saying
get out of here!
Hey, man. Well, you know what? No, Schwarzenegger has actually done. I need to see it, but he did a few years ago like a zombie movie called Maggie.
I heard that was good.
Yeah, he got a lot of. I haven't watched it yet though. But he did comedy. He did action. He did other stuff.
Jingle all the way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, Schwarzenegger at the time was the guy. He was like the big action movie guy, right? And I feel like Rock is the guy nowadays that he's the kind of like the go-to guy. Is going to make a bunch good. The movie's going to be successful, and
Yeah.
Even when the movie's kind of, if he's in it, I enjoy it usually.
that's the thing, right? I just watched the movie because Schwarzenegger was in it. It didn't even have to be that great.
Yeah.
Now he did star in a lot of really good movies. I feel.
Oh yeah. Predator's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the first Terminator is one of my favorites of all time. T2 is great.
I like
Total
second.
Recall is awesome.
Oh yeah.
True Lies is super fun. That's a great.
I learned about science of Mars atmosphere from Total Recall.
Yeah, man.
So
you know what happens to your face if you go out on
Yeah.
Mars? Your eyes bulge out.
What Junior is the one where he gets pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Where's the one where Schwarzenegger is pregnant?
Yes,
Is it
Junior.
Junior? Okay.
It's because it's not twins. That's when he's the twin of Danny DeVito.
Dan DeVito, yeah.
I think you tell me somebody
now,
making a third one.
when he's Mr. Freeze,
No, that was really bad. That whole movie is
bad.
is
Chill.
no good.
Nice to meet you.
They should put some of those lines in the Crisis.
Oh my!
It's so bad. Oh, let's just make it in the chat. Here's a famous line. It's not a tumor.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marx. Yes. What is?
That's another plot point they kind of just dropped with Psycho Pirate. They had him in Elseworlds.
Right. Psycho Pirate.
Yeah, and Psycho Pirate is in the comic book thing originally and stuff.
Wait, is that the guy we saw in the Crisis when they were showing the Elseworld stuff with the book?
Maybe he had the mask and he was in Arkham. So
Oh, maybe not. I'm thinking somebody else.
he kept talking about Crisis, I think, right? Didn't he talk about Crisis? or
Yes.
something? Yeah, and he was in the original paper too, talking about it and stuff. So that was like a whole.
They built him up, right? They built him up in the show, and they never did anything with him. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That and Reverse Flash, it's kind of weird. Maybe that's in the uncut. Maybe they'll come out with a director's cut. That's gonna be cool.
Snyder cut.
Jalou says Predator is the only movie to have 2 future governors in it. That's true.
True.
Jesse Ventura.
How good that movie was.
Minnesota, right? Yeah. That's right. Who knew? Who knew? All those governors would come from it.
A little known fact: Trump was the monster in the costume.
He was the Predator.
Wait, does that mean we get Carl Weathers at some point as a president? And
Sure.
Oh, who else was there? I can't remember the other
I don't know
actors.
who else.
Or else who
They
died.
just died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listener's Mate says, Francis, in your Obi-Wan, you sounded like Ringo Starr from the Beatles. Yes. So now you were
Peace
Ringo
love.
Starr. Julie says, Super Geeked Up DC. Time for some games.
Mm.
Well, I'm sorry. We don't actually have any games on this show, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever done any games, actually. I'm trying to think. We might have at one point. I don't remember.
Oh.
I'm amazed that we went on so many tangents that this show has gone as
I
long
thought
as
it was
it
going to be a
has.
shorter one because there was only 2 parts to the
We have talked about so many different things.
We're all
I'm
over the
like,
place.
It's 9:30. How did this happen?
Jesus Christ, I really thought it was going to be like an hour-and-a-half show.
Infinite.
I know.
Yeah, not kidding.
Well, wrap it up then.
One last thing.
Yes.
I want to make sure I work in before we forget. Is
Oh,
I
boy,
like
this
that.
is really important.
I like they had Marv Wolfman make a little appearance, and that
Oh, was he Marv?
Yeah, that was actually Marv, and he actually wanted an autograph of the 2 characters who he actually killed off in the comic book series. So it was nice.
So good because he was the original writer of Crisis, right? The
Yes.
Entrepreneurs.
And
go ahead.
And Perez was the artist, right? And the square or whatever it was they were fighting in, I didn't catch it. I heard about it later that it was called Perez Square or something like that. So
nice.
It's a nice
great.
little.
I was wondering if the Marv guy was somebody known. I didn't know who it was. That's great.
Yeah, I interviewed him like many years ago, and I didn't. But he's aged a lot since then, so it took me a second to recognize him. But I mean, it was a long time ago.
I got it.
Before I went to film school and anything, it was a long time ago. So
I actually really liked that scene. That was super fun.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "Yeah, make it out to Marv." It's
yeah, like who is this guy? I didn't know who he was.
It was great, and then like, because they're like, "Okay, Marv. Hey, Marv. Can you, like, how long have we been fighting?" Which is so funny. Like,
it was funny. It was great. And I guess there's a comic book tie-in too that's supposed to be canon. So I need to read that.
Does he write it?
Yeah, he wrote it, I believe.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, nice.
So.
Listeners Bay says Junior was a sequel to Twins, wasn't it? And yes, Julie says I don't know. It was a separate movie. Oh, I didn't know this because it says DeVito and Arnold have twins themselves at the end of Twins. Oh, I forgot about that. All right, cool. Thanks for the information about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Lots of good Arnold movies.
Yeah.
You know, very relevant to Infinite Crisis.
Well, look, Arnold was Mr. Freeze, as you said, so he could have been
That's
a
true.
cameo. He could have been a cameo.
Oh.
All right. Just to say, ice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my god, he had the worst lines in that movie.
It is bad.
There's so many horrible lines in that movie.
Man.
Alfred's the only good thing about that movie.
He dies.
No, but I love the actor Michael Goh, who plays him, and
Yeah,
he still had a really nice storyline in that movie.
Did you know Alfred's dead in the comic books now too?
Oh really?
Oh no, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dead.
Boo. He'll come back. He'll come back when they do the next, version of DC.
Yeah, I know. This is a new version after
Is this
New
wait,
52.
are they done after this is Rebirth still or no? Or is it new besides Rebirth?
I believe it's still Rebirth or whatever the new universe is. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a whole thing tied in with his father from an alternate universe who was Batman there and there's a murder and stuff and elaborate plot with all his villains, usual.
Well, I like Alfred's daughter on Batwoman. Julia Pennyworth.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to definitely see a lot more of her. She was great.
That's probably a first appearance, right? I don't think she exists anywhere.
mm-mm.
So she's not. Yeah, she's not in the comics at all.
Not that I know of.
I wasn't aware of him having a daughter ever. Yeah, no, that's great.
So that's kind of cool. I also now we're mentioning that. Excuse me. I did watch Pennyworth, at least the first half.
That's funny because I remember last year we were making fun of it a lot. Just like, why is there a?
I know, right?
We're kind of saying like we don't really want to see another prequel to right.
Well, I just happened to see it because sometimes on Roku they get these it's Stars or whatever is free right now or something, and they had a marathon. I didn't get to finish it, but we actually started watching and we got hooked, and we just kept watching. So we watched over half of it, I think, and it was actually pretty good. It's really weird in some ways, but it was actually a pretty good show.
Now wait, is it the guy from Gotham or just a totally new actor?
No, some young dude.
Yeah, it's a young dude. It's in the past.
It's a young Pennyworth.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a young Pennyworth.
He's like an MI5 agent, isn't he, or something like that?
So
No.
before he ever works for the Waynes.
Well, he eventually you see like the way his parents are in there and stuff.
Thomas
Make
and
parents,
Martha.
yeah, before they're married and stuff. So you're getting a lot of, yeah, and they have just the villains. They're not like total super villains, but they're kind of odd characters. It still feels a little bit like a Batman Gotham kind of feel to it, like before the costumes, but still got this weirdness element to it. These weird characters and stuff, and it was actually pretty good. I have to say, it was very unexpected. Far better than Gotham. Let's just say that. So,
All right.
and I think they renewed it. So, that might be one prelude or whatever I didn't know I wanted to watch. So,
Okay.
good for them.
Nice. Jalou says, didn't Batman and Robin have Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy? It did indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Jim Carrey is Riddler.
That was Batman Forever.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Who was Bane?
Friesen. Oh, your Bane was in that one though, right? Working with Poison Ivy for some reason, she was just ordering him around.
Well, because she
like put
the venom that made him. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a terrible version of Bane. Terrible.
Wait. See, more Mr. Freeze stuff. What?
No. I was wondering if you were gonna do your Bane impersonation. I was waiting for it.
Oh no, there's no. Oh, well, he didn't do that though.
No, I want you to do the, what's his face, Thomas.
Oh, that
Tom
Bane
Hardy.
dude.
Tom Hardy.
This Bane. Oh, that Bane only did growling. He wasn't as good as I was.
Oh, in the Harley Quinn animated series, that's the Bane the voice of
really?
Bane they have. Yeah, he's super goofy too.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. That's what's really neat about Harley Quinn is they do a weird take on all the characters. Like Jim Gordon's like nervous and broken and everything, and he's always drinking and stuff. And
Harley Quinn is
a lot.
What's that? What'd you say?
Oh, I said he does drink a lot in the comics.
Yeah.
And stuff. So that's funny that they show him as an alcoholic.
Scorpio says, I had to work and join late, so thanks for the longer show. Hey, good. No problem, man. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
And then Julie says, who played the best Poison Ivy? I don't know, there's been a ton of them, I suppose, right? I mean, there's Uma Thurman. There's the one from Gotham, who I only saw as a kid, and I think somebody told me, maybe Francis, there was 3 different actresses who played her.
There's 3 actresses because she ages twice in that show. She ages into it like a older teenager, and then she ages into like a 30-year-old in the span of the show.
I mean, I'll say the animated
she grows like weeds.
Right. Waiting for those puns. Okay. I think the animated series Poison Ivy was good. It was very good. I also think the Arkham Asylum games of Poison Ivy was good.
Yeah.
And Poison Ivy has a relationship with Harley, so there you go.
Now, where does that actually happen, though? Which version? Like, you mean a romantic relationship?
Yeah, they have a romantic.
I know they're very often they're really good buddies, at least in many versions.
I believe it's implied in the comics that they have a romantic relationship because there's a Poison Ivy.
I just didn't know if they ever actually went all the way there with the romantic stuff.
I think they did. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
He wants to know a specific issue so he can get.
First off, where is Dean Cain naked, and where can I see Poison Ivy?
There's an actual series of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Like that's the name of the
in their series, their own series.
Yeah, they have their own series where they fall in love and
close
crime.
friends, partners in crime.
Yeah.
Who
So
kiss?
just like to get naked, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Poison Ivy's mostly naked all the time anyway, right? Because she says plants like all over pretty much.
Oh, that's actually. Well, yeah, it's just fig leaves all over her.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So I guess we should do some ratings, right?
Oh yeah.
So we rated. Well, what should we do? Should we just rate the overall Crisis as a whole?
Yeah.
Sure.
First, yeah. All right. Wait, what do we need to do? What are we doing this out of? What's our rating system for?
1 out of 5 monitors.
Is that what we did last time? We should do something new, or did we do?
We didn't do anything last time.
No, we came up with something last time. We totally did.
Yeah, we did. I can't remember what.
3.
I can't remember what it was. Treadmills? It was treadmills. Wasn't it treadmills?
No, that was a suggestion. I think it was just Earth or something.
Can we go back to washing machines?
Oh, from Black Lightning?
Yeah.
Or how about Oliver Deaths? Because he died multiple times.
Oh no! Come on!
You win, Marx. That's it.
No. Come on.
How many Earths then?
No, we did Earths last time, so we should do either monitors or specters or something. I don't know.
Monitors.
Gleeks. How many Gleeks?
Gleeks. Okay, I like it. Gleeks.
How many Gleeks?
Okay. And by the way, comments are funny. Yes, we did talk about Gleek in the Hall of Justice earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Listener says, how about 1 to 5 specters? So he liked my idea, but I guess we'll go with Gleeks.
Whichever.
We'll go with Gleeks.
Okay. So 1 to 5?
Okay, what do we do? 1 out of 4, right? So we do it.
1 out of 4.
But we can do a point system as well, of course. Let's see. All the Crisis together. Let me think here. 5 episodes. I was a really fun ride. I came out of it. I watched them last night, actually, the last 2 parts. So I was like, this is great. Super awesome. So I think I'm going to give it 3.65 Gleeks.
God.
To be very specific. There you go. 3.65 Gleeks. Tell us in the chat what you would give it, by the way. You don't have to be weird like me. You can just give it a more normal number. But
yeah.
Francis, what do you think?
was saying Marx looks like he's ready to give an answer.
I think he's still pondering, I feel, so I'm going to go to you, Francis.
I liked it a lot. Even though we mentioned all of those kind of like inconsistencies, I don't really care. I just bring it up because it's kind of fun to bring those types of things up, because every movie and every TV show has inconsistencies. But overall, I mean, I think what really sold me, I'm not going to lie, was the Ezra Miller appearance. Like, that blew me away.
Yes.
I saw him show up. I'm like, because I thought for a second, like, this can't be real. Like, this must be pre-rendered, or this must be like green screen or something. Like, they're using footage from something else. But no, like, it's him there on set. And I thought that was amazing. So I give it a 3.9.
Wow.
Perfect.
Oh my God, super high.
Wow.
Great.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Mine's too low now. All right. Marx.
So I think this, of all the crossovers, the big crossovers, it's definitely the best one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were a lot of plot holes and stuff, but that's if it didn't have quite as many plot holes, it would be pretty close to almost perfect as you can get. But so I'd probably give it like I'll give it a 3.7 Gleeks.
All right, fine. I'm gonna go up to 3.75 Gleek.
Oh. Well, I will see you that. The 3.7.
Well, I'm going to go down
above
to
4.
2 Gleeks.
I raise you.
So,
All right, good. Well, those are like some of the highest ratings we've ever given, I think. Certainly to a crossover.
Yeah, for a crossover.
Yeah, definitely for me the best. Like, it was also my favorite. Was it your favorite crossover or no, Francis?
Oh yeah.
The big ones.
Head
I guess with 3.9 it must be.
Yeah, head over shoulders better than all the other crossovers. Because all the other crossovers, this one changed everything. Like, they promised a change, they gave it, and I like that. They followed through with something that they normally wouldn't do in other crossovers. Again, my biggest problem with the other crossovers is it would happen and then they'd forget about it for the rest of the season. Yeah. They can't forget about this one. This one lasts.
Yeah, with Invasion, you had like one really good episode, but only one episode that tied into that with Legends, with the kid, the little Dominator. And then with Earth X, nothing after that. Yeah, Ray didn't show up, nobody. Elseworld, not really anything either. So yeah, so this one will have a ripple effect for the rest of the year. So
I'm so happy for like that's why it wins such a high praise for me, because finally something that actually affects all of the shows.
Ooh, maybe they're going to what they could do for a crossover now that they have sort of their Justice League is with Lex. He could create his own Legion of Doom or whatever.
Doom, yes.
You get Gorilla Grodd with them. Whoever else would be great.
King Shark.
King Shark could be in there. Well,
Thunder Witch. I don't know why, but why not? No, not really, but I know
Mirror
she's
Master,
not really.
maybe, or I don't know. Yeah.
What would you say?
I mean, there's
Mirror Master. Brent Brainiac. We haven't seen Brainiac yet, right?
Well, we saw an evil one in the Supergirl.
Right.
Did we have Brainiac and Supergirl?
We did, yeah. I think first season, right? Didn't we?
Or you mean
it's a female Brainiac?
No,
remember?
we had Laura Vandervoot, right? She played like a
female Brainiac.
Oh yeah, that's a different Indigo or whatever she was called. Yeah,
Indigo, but it's like a Brainiac version, right? So,
no,
yeah.
Brainiac.
Yeah.
No. Indigo.
So
was
didn't they call her Indigo?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
That was like season 1, I think, right?
I mean, hell, that was what Red Tornado and everything. So yeah, I don't remember.
Red Tornado.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway.
I think who else could be in the Legion of Doom? Yeah.
Well, Gorilla Grodd for sure.
Yeah. No Damien Dark, please.
No. He brings Zoom back, I guess. Not Zoom.
Reverse Flash.
I don't know. Well, you know what? Whatever happened to like the Black Flash? The one that like if you mess with time too much, it follows you and tries to kill you.
Which one?
Okay.
Zoom.
Yeah.
So
that was Zoom, right? Stuck in the Speed Force.
Yeah, so he got stuck in this. Speed Force became the creature that messes with you if you mess with time too much.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently nobody cares anymore now, though, because they've been messing with time for like the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, that kind of stopped. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah.
Oh, Jalou says Shazam.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's part of the Justice League, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Well, then Black Adam.
Yeah. Who's going to be played by The Rock.
Right.
In the movies. Yeah,
I'd like to see The Rock and Momoa fight each other. That'd be kind of fun.
that would be fun.
You must,
I feel like
you
they
must see
just would go get
Aquaman and
drinks.
fight. All right, yeah. Huh?
I feel like they would just go get
Or
drinks.
drinking. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, Legion of Doom would be great, man. And just one
Yep.
time I wanted them to do the Super Friends transition stuff. Do, you know, with the stars and stuff. I just
guess
wanted to do
they'll-
that for one transition.
They'll do it. No, they'll do it. They'll even have the announcer guy. They're
Yeah.
gonna have the announcer guy.
If it was on
Meanwhile,
Legends,
in
they
the Hall
would
of
for sure.
Justice.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
Okay, that's not. Are you like Mixelplick now or something?
Oh, that's true. My throat's not all the way there right now. Okay, it's late for me. Remember, 9 hours of sleep as of Wednesday. I think like 12 hours of
Oh
sleep.
yeah, I know. That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
exhausted.
Julie says, "Oh wait, they did a Shazam movie with the guy from Chuck and Tangled." Yes, Zachary Levi, just last year. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's really fun. Fun movie.
It's a good movie, yeah.
Now, all right. I guess that'll be it.
Yeah.
For tonight. We've
Yeah.
got enough tangents.
It's yeah. I think we're wrapping it up here.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Well, Jalu wanted a game, right? We just did Tangent Tales for like 2.5 hours.
There you go. That's what we did. You're right. Thank you guys so much. And if like comics are fun, anybody, if you're new, please give us a subscription. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Here's what Marx is doing right there.
Thumbs up, ring the bell.
Here's where you can check out us online, Super Geeked Up, on YouTube and Twitter. And if you really dig stuff, here's our Patreon page, patreon.com/supergeekedup. Any amount, no matter how small, really helps us out. Keep doing these geeky shows. Marx, where can they find you?
Oh, they can find me at marxpyle.com, or you can also find podcast co-host called Genre Attainment. And you can also find me over on Twitter at Mr. Marx.
And Francis.
Marks. Sorry. I'm at aka the other guy on Twitter. Censorsarcasm.net is the website that I don't update anymore. No, I'm kidding. I do update it. It just takes me a while. Censorsarcasm.net for all the stuff that I do, including Online Friend Simulator, which will be back sooner rather than later. So check that out.
All right. Hey, that's what Lister's Mate said. It was like one big episode, game of Tangent Tales, this whole episode.
What?
And Julie says, not enough tangents. All right, well, okay.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's just do another 2 hours.
I got another 30
Hey,
minutes.
You
Let's
convinced
go
us.
for it.
Oh my God! Imagine we did that.
I'm just like, oh my god, yeah. What?
Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. Okay. Well, yeah, I think they're asking you about the friendship thing update. Well, like you said, soon, right? Very
Soon. Yeah, soon. Can't give you a soon.
Thank you guys very much. Again, if you haven't, actually, I think everybody watching live just about saw the season finale of Super Geeked Up. That was 2 days ago. But if you're watching this in post and haven't seen it, please check it out. And we had a lot of fun, and we'll be back in a couple of months with that show. And then we'll let you know if we do another DC Action Hour. But I hope you enjoy the second half of all these seasons of the shows. It'll be fun to see what they do with the Crisis Aftermath. And thanks so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. So until next time, stay geek, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.